Yeah, okay.
We after 2 weeks because of personal things, like not personal really. The
I
last
ate
week
bad sausage and got sick.
my lights were out for like 2 days, and that Sunday, well, that wasn't really 2 days. It was kind of more of like a day and a half, and then the next day was like it came back on that Monday. But
Mm,
we are back. I am Marcus Dupree, and I am here with my
me.
lovely assistant, Drianke. And this is goddamn, Grandline Podcast episode 4. We are going back to the gaming discussion, and we had just a bunch of shit we wrote down that we were supposed to do like 2 weeks ago and kind of forgot about it. We had to remind ourselves. That's why it took like an extra few minutes because we had to re-immerse ourselves into the discussion that we forgot.
Anita sucks.
Say what? I needed what?
We had to re-immerse ourselves in the realization that Anita sucks.
Well, I mean, we had to. Not to mention, Drunken
Had
wants
to
to twerk
remember what we were
everybody.
going to talk about anyway.
Well, I mean, we had an idea what we were supposed to talk about, but uh, yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm not. Let me stop trying to sugarcoat it. We fucking forgot. Damn it.
You did, I didn't.
What's that? What's this little? What is this? It's like, what is that? Okay, let me just get the chat open. Who is all in here anyway? Let me see who is on here. Better be. Let me see. Soul Drinker. Hey, wait, Soul Drinker? What the hell is Soul Drinker?
Somebody who drinks
Oh,
soul.
he's using emote. Oh, it's Shadow. That's definitely Shadow. Hey, what's going on, Chris? Just get your ass to work next time, Soul Drinker. Anyway, Grand Line
Now that,
Podcast. Here we are. Anything
now
like
that you
this?
pointed it out with those pictures, I can't unsee it.
Unsee what?
The thumbnail picture.
Well, I mean, what would you think it
I can't
is?
unsee it now.
Of course,
I didn't,
like,
I wasn't paying
what
attention
would you think
before.
it is? You're pointing a gun to my head.
Well, you can change it if you want.
I don't want to change it. It's too damn adorable.
What?
I mean, like, look
Don't
at your face. It's like,
understand
should
you.
I pop a bullet into this boy's head? Like, come on. And I'm
And you're
like,
totally oblivious.
yes. I mean, that's what you want to do to me half the time anyway.
It's
So,
not what I'm trying to do, it's what I do
I
do.
don't know where I don't know where our thumbnail is. Actually, I can just look it up, actually. Grand line. Okay. There we go. The Airline Podcast. Anyway, Happy's Mother
Yeah.
Day. Yes. And I hope you all wish your mother a good, happy Mother's Day. If not, Drunky will come for you.
That, or if she's a legitimate horrible person, then you don't have to.
Oh, yeah. Either which one, it pretty much works. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. If she's a good person, then yeah, make her feel good. If not, then screw her.
Or pull like a mean prank on her. But it's got to be
Yeah,
real,
like
not
my
like
mom.
anyone else on YouTube, I guess you could say.
Happy Mother's Day card. Just kidding. You suck. Oh my god, that'd be so horrible.
I mean, it depends if she gave a damn or not, honestly. I mean,
Right.
like, if she, like, okay, whatever. She's like one of those trailer park moms who have a lot of wrinkles around her mouth and she's wearing, like, a nasty little rag around her
Ugh.
body. Yeah, that's pretty
Ugh.
much what that is. Yeah, she's like,
Hey,
you're
but
a
sometimes
motherfucker.
maybe she might be a good mom. She might look like that, but she
What?
might
Why
be
are we
one of the
talking
best
about
moms
mothers?
ever.
Damn it.
Because somebody said Happy Mother's Day, guys,
Oh, yeah, Soul Drinker.
and it is Mother's Day, so
Yeah. I just saw a
double
marathon of
check
the
your thought.
Amazing World of Gumball on Cartoon Network. And with Nicole Watterson. Yeah, that's a mother of many worth right there. Not to mention they did
Yeah.
that anime episode too, which was really fucking cool. Animators of Kill la Kill and everything did the animation for that episode, and I'm surprised they actually did it. I don't know how much work it actually took for them to get it going. But
Mm. Actually, had to be reminded by Facebook that it was Mother's Day today.
uh, I yeah, well, me too.
Yeah, you're guilty too.
Hey, at
But I
least I
don't talk.
remembered on time without having to help anybody. I haven't
Mm,
had any help, so
Yeah.
But anyway, another day discussion done. It's time to move on to the second gaming discussion on this channel for episode 4 of Grandline podcast. And I'm glad. Like, there's so much to talk about for the gaming community. I mean, like, there's so much things you could talk about. And one of these we're about to talk about here is, well, go ahead and take away, Drunky.
Fucking feminists getting their dirty little fucking fingers into gaming.
How does that even happen, honestly? Like, really, how does that
Um,
even? Why the gaming community?
it happens because of Gamergate and the proliferation of psycho feminists. There's a difference. Now let me preface all this between actual feminists and modern feminists. Now, and there's even a distinction between modern feminists that I would like to point out to preface so that people know the type of feminists that I'm talking about here. In the past, when women couldn't vote, there were the suffragettes, the first women's rights activists, who were the first feminists. That's commonly referred to as first wave feminism, right? They tried to make it so that women could vote. Obviously, that worked. So now we can vote. And then there was the second wave feminists that came around in the 60s, you know, the bra throwing off hippie feminists, right? That was second wave feminism. And then we have third wave feminism. And they try and say that, oh, there's all these things, and we can go into all those debates all you want about glass ceilings and all that shit, but regardless of that, the modern feminists now, some girls think, oh, equality between the sexes, I'm a feminist. And then they leave it at that and they label themselves a feminist. Those are not the women I'm talking about here. The women I'm talking about are the ones that say that if you regret the hookup that you had, the guy that you brought home the night before, and you regret the sex that you had, that all of a sudden you can accuse them of rape. The ones that think that a man looking at them is rape. The psycho ones that are trying to change policy into extreme nutcasey things. Those are the feminists that I'm talking about, and those are the feminists that I will be referring to so that nobody gets all butthurt. Alright? So, these are the feminists that are the likes of Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe, whatever her name is, and all these people associated with Gamergate. Gamergate is a very weird and very convoluted thing that nobody can really make a whole lot of sense out of. Basically, some chick got accused of sleeping with one guy. She was a game developer, I think it was Zoe. Got accused of sleeping with somebody, a journalist, um, for reviews, positive reviews, and then that opened up the floodgates for what the fuck is going on with game reviews and all these like Kotaku and places like that that published game stuff. There was a lot of controversy, and then out of that came, this is just the real basics. If you want the details, go and look it up, because there's a lot of shit and it's confusing and weird. So,
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I remember hearing about that story about this, about the game developer who made this game called Depression Quest or something. I
yeah,
heard
that was
about it,
Zoe, I think.
but like after a while, I didn't hear anything about it again. I mean, I thought I would hear more
Mhm.
about this story, but it kind of like the first time I heard it was the last time I heard it, so I didn't really know too much about
Right.
it. I mean, I didn't hear
Yeah.
about Anita Sarkeesian until I watched Angry Joe's like top 10 controversies of 2014 or 2013, I think. That was for the first I
Mm,
heard about Anita Sarkeesian. And I started
right.
looking up more about her. Then I found Alpha Omega Sin's videos about her and stuff. I'm like,
Oh.
so yeah.
And see, I got introduced to the whole Gamergate thing and everything because I'm an atheist, right? And there was a big feminist blow up within the atheist community that sparked a lot of controversy too. And Anita was implemented in there a little bit too. So I came about it outside the gaming community and then found it was linked to the gaming community. So um, I learned it differently. But so basically, Anita comes around and she starts feminist frequency. And she starts reviewing games with a feminist lens. Now, she's herself said that she didn't even like playing games. She's not even a gamer, yet she's forcing herself and trying to be a gamer, which is really obnoxious.
And
And
that's where you
so
and that
she has a large audience and she is mobilizing people to put pressure on developers and all kinds of places to represent women accurately. Hence, all the women who are beat with an ugly Mass Effect Andromeda. I consider myself a normal looking woman, right? And you've seen my picture, Marcus. I'm
mm,
not ugly. I wasn't beat with an ugly stick, and I'm not, drop dead, model beautiful either, but I'm not ugly, right? Your average woman is not butt ugly. And who wants to look at a butt ugly character anyway? I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it. Who wants to look at a butt ugly character the whole time you're playing a thing?
mm.
I like looking at pretty people. Everybody likes looking at pretty people. So yeah, I don't understand that whole thing. So they're putting pressure on all these companies, and you see it, like mostly in like most recently in Mass Effect Andromeda, where they have a huge um, what's termed social justice warrior, which is linked with the whole feminist psycho identity politics thing. Like, oh well, if you're gay and Asian and disabled, then you have more right to speak than somebody who's, say, a white guy or something. That's how they rank people, basically. Um, and so they've gotten that whole thing there where you see in a lot of games there's a forced representation of ethnicities. And I have no problem with it, as long as it doesn't feel forced. It's the forcing that feels weird. Have it natural. Like I know I'm going back to this game, but and you've played this one too, is the Last of Us. That felt natural. There was a representation of different ethnicities in that game, but it was
Right.
natural. Whereas I think Mass Effect Andromeda has a more forced feeling, and I felt that it was forced in Horizon as well, where it could have been a lot more natural. And we're seeing these types of things in games, and they're actually getting things changed, like covers of games over here. There was one in particular, I think it was either an anime or a game, but the art style was anime, right? There was this one girl in like a bikini or underwear or something, and her ass was very prominent. It looked nice and everything. And then in the American version, they have like this little curtain coming over and hiding the panty part, but the bottom curve of her ass is still hanging out.
You talking about
It,
Berserk, the band of Hawk?
I don't know, but it's like really weird. It's like it looks more seductive or sexualized in the feminist cover up than it does in the original one. In the original one, it just looks like, oh, she's either wearing a bathing suit or whatever, you know?
I think you probably might be talking about the Berserk cover. I mean, Berserk did have a censored cover with Casca.
Mm,
It's kind of. I mean, the whole censorship with that game is like really backwards and weird. I mean, I think Japan got the censored version. Over here in America, we got the uncensored version. And then
actually, it was the other way around.
really.
Hmm. The
Mm, I,
feminists were the ones directly involved with the censoring of that.
I,
If
oh
this
my
is the
god.
same thing we're talking about.
I don't think so. I mean, you're talking about a character, a woman was covered up by the something and stuff. I'm thinking like, well,
Like the
Berserk did
curtain
have a
looking
covered
thing.
image censored, so I think that might be that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's just
So
go ahead and move on.
it's just I feel like they're forcing a change that doesn't necessarily need to be there, right? Because
Right.
if you think about video game developers, right? They want to sell games. They don't want to not sell games. So they're trying to appeal to the broadest base possible. If their demographics show that in the US, a lot more blacks are buying games than whites, they're going to put a lot more black characters in their games to
Oh,
represent that. You
a
know what I
little
mean?
fun fact a friend told me right quick. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to believe him, but I can't believe it's true.
Okay.
Um, the reason why Watch Dogs 2 and Prototype 2 didn't sell much because the character was African American.
What?
And I mean, he basically it was a
That
fun fact.
never stopped me from
That's
anything. I
never
don't care.
I mean it makes sense. I mean, Prototype 1 was mostly known, Prototype 2 was lesser known. Watch Dogs
Mhm.
1 was more known, Watch Dogs 2 was semi known. I mean,
I'm wondering though, because Watch Dogs 1, we have it. It was a shitty game. It was really, honestly, like it was like a different version of Grand Theft Auto. And if you're gonna get a game like that, why not just get Grand Theft Auto? They do it better. You know what I mean?
right.
That for me, that's why I didn't get Watch Dogs 2. I actually didn't even know that the main protagonist was black. No fucking idea. If it was a good game, I would have bought it right
It
then
was
and
a good
there.
game. It was. But
Like
then
if the
again,
first one was good, but I was turned off by the first one.
yeah. But honestly, it kind of didn't make sense because the main character in San Andreas was black. So it didn't really make sense for nobody to buy that game. So,
Well,
and we
like
were
if okay, look at Battlefield 1. The cover character is black.
actually I didn't know that at all. I just thought it was just dirt or something, honestly. But
No, the cover character is a black man because there actually were a lot of guys in World War I, and a lot of people didn't know that. And so, um, yeah, that's actually part of history. And so he was on the cover, one of these guys. I don't know if it was modeled after a real guy or not, but one of the guys on the cover, well, the guy on the cover is black, and that didn't stop me from buying the game. I think certain people it might, and those people are just assholes anyway. Um, So yeah, they're just what else
yeah,
is there to
we
say? Anybody who like judges a game because of the skin tone of the main protagonist or even the character on the cover is just an idiot,
yeah,
in my opinion,
it's.
or an
I
asshole.
mean, that's what he told me, and I guess I mean
Mhm. It
he
might
had
be
a
a
lot of
combination.
proof too. I mean, he had like he told me
Oh,
to look up some videos and shit. I'm like, wow, really?
I don't doubt it. I don't, but I think it might. Honestly, I think it might be a combination of that and the first game was such shit.
Yeah, true.
Because like Um, the only reason I didn't buy Mass Effect Andromeda is because we heard some things before it came out, and some of the gameplay, they said it was more like the multiplayer in three, and we didn't like the multiplayer in three. So if the whole game felt like that, we're like, let's see, let's wait until it comes out, and then it came out, and all that shit happened with it, and I was like, okay, yeah, definitely not getting that. Um,
Yeah, it's honestly, I just wanted to throw that in. We can kind of get off a little off topic right there.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt it. But, as like you see a lot of like character creation. That never used to be a thing. You remember? You play an old school game, you get one character and that's it. You don't create your character. Now, most games, especially like RPGs and stuff, like you take any of them, Fallout 4, any of the Fallout games, Dark Souls, a lot of any game, there's a lot of character creation now, which allows you to not have a set gender or set um, what is it, skin tone. You can change your skin tone and make your character
Hey,
look as much like you
Junkie,
or as little like you as you want. Hmm.
let's go. We can just go ahead and just go back to the original topic. You're gonna have to like keep going with this. Like,
Oh yeah, but this goes back to the whole feminist thing. They're trying to claim that it's only white males. It's only like white males
oh
objectifying
God,
women in games.
I see what you're talking
And so
about.
they're trying to change things and turn it into an identity thing, which most games now you can play any gender you want and you can change your character to look any any skin tone you want. So I don't understand where they're getting this from and why they're so upset. Any woman that's scantily clad. at all. They have an issue and they'll start like sending the developers messages and putting pressure on them.
What you
But
know? That's like it's their game. Why are you being so
yeah,
scared
that's
about?
don't
God
play it if
dang!
you don't like it like that, you know? And then there's like they say it's all objectifying women and it's all sexualizing women. When have you ever seen a male character that isn't all buff and looking like super sexualized himself? You know what I mean? It goes both
Exactly.
ways. And they refuse to acknowledge that. And I mean, everybody who's ever heard me knows that I like playing male characters because I like looking at them, you know? And I like my male characters to look sexy in my eyes. Hence naked dude. Um,
Nikki dude.
yeah, I love my naked dude. Um,
We're gonna make a
so
biography,
yeah,
folks, about Naked Dude. Stay tuned for that video in the future.
right.
But seriously
So
though, it
so
really
they're
go on. Yeah.
they're just psycho. They're going off the deep end in their own little worlds, and it's this vicious cycle of like they're only reading things and hearing things in their own little world. So it's this like horrible echo chamber of, oh my God, the patriarchy. Oh my God, look at this oppression in video games. This one girl tried to say that she got groped in a video game and it was sexual harassment.
How do you, does some people ever
Yeah,
think about what they're about
how
to
does that
say
happen?
before doing that?
And apparently, from what I heard though, is that like there was some glitch or somebody ran some code or something and actually could freeze characters and do things that would make it look like you were actually um, doing something sexually to another character. In that case, if somebody does that to you, turn off your fucking game. You
I'm
know, like why are you sitting there watching that and then claiming to be traumatized by it? Like it's not even you. It's a character. It's not you. If you're that sucked into games that you can't even like separate yourself from what's on the screen, then you've got problems. Seriously. So, I mean, if something like that happens, just turn off the fucking game. If somebody starts fucking with me, you know, if I had a situation like that, I'd turn off the game. I'd be like, hey, dude, fuck off, you know? Um, but it's gotten to a psycho like thing. So now they're having influence on games. Now they're having
honestly,
things changed
I'm more pissed at the developer than the actual
for
feminists
giving in.
themselves, really, because how could you give in to something like that because of
I don't
like if
know.
they,
Well,
it's
I think it's because they scream loudly enough.
I don't
Their
care.
voices are loud enough,
I
you
don't. I
know?
don't really don't give a shit. If I ever make a game, it's gonna be how the way it is. I'm not gonna change it for no one or nobody. God
Yeah, I
dang.
agree. You're the fucking developer,
People give
not
in
me.
like
If
that
I want
pussy
to play
ass
that game, I get
developers
that
shit.
game. I know. And that's why there was so much backlash with Mass Effect Andromeda's because they did cater a lot to that group, and the head guy there is very much like that himself, and he's very vocal about it too. And people are like, you know what, fuck you guys. Um, and it was such a flop. Did you hear that they broke up the team and sent them different places?
I really?
BioWare, yeah, BioWare Montreal got like their team got kind of put in different areas as support only. They're not allowed to work on their own games anymore.
Uh, that's their.
Hmm.
I feel bad, but that's their fault. That's what you forget for giving
Yeah,
in
it is
like
their
that.
fault.
I mean,
Hmm.
if that's what it was about right there. But like seriously,
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Part of it was also the animations and glitches and other like functional problems with the game. But I think the other side of it was all the backlash from all the hyper feminist pushing that they did with it. And people are sick of it. They just want to play a fucking good game. They don't want politics shoved down their throat in the middle of gaming. And I can agree with that. I'm not playing games to solve the world's problems. I'm playing games to get away from the world's problems. You know? So
I
so
just
there's that.
I mean, I just really hate the fact that developers really are giving in to these people. It's not up to them, it's up to you. Stop
Mhm.
ruining games that we are going to be playing, that we are going to be spending our money on, to try and have a good experience, while you guys are just giving in to a bunch of psycho feminists. Well,
For a
it's
very small demographic of people compared to the
yes,
whole of the gamers. And there are a lot of female gamers, but it's still a mostly male dominated area,
yeah,
and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just how it is. And honestly, I don't care if there's no female protagonist in the game. I really don't give a shit. It's like, do I like the game? Yes. If I like the game, I'm going to play the game. I don't care if I'm playing a girl or a guy. It doesn't matter. I don't care what color the person is. Do I like the game? Yes, I'm going to play the game. You know? And that's what they're failing to realize. They're injecting their politics into something that it's shouldn't be political like this. You
exactly.
know? And then we've got the flip side. You've got these girls that that's a funny comment. Yeah, this was planned. Um, so then you've got the flip side. You've got all these psycho feminists attacking the gaming world,
For no,
and
even though
you've got
it's
people reacting. So this is why I always say I'm happy people can't tell I'm a girl, because my voice is deeper. I'm happy because I don't get the backlash, right? So rightly so, men are pissed off with these fucking bitches sticking their fingers where they don't belong, you know?
hmm
And I've seen some girls who don't deserve the backlash and some who do. There are some feminist girls who are playing games and they get sexual, even though they claim that people shouldn't objectify them. Then why are you getting sexual in a game? Why?
hmm
Why are you doing that in chat? Bothers me. And then there's the other type that just are bitchy the whole time and start doing the whole patriarchy thing and then saying, "Oh, of course you'd say that. You're a guy," and just causing problems. And so you've got guys who are like obviously fed up with this shit and they're just like fuck off. And so you have the flip side. You have people who are reacting healthily, being just saying, fuck off, leaving the party, whatever, just or kicking her out or playing their game and ignoring her or getting rid of her or whatever and getting away from that toxic situation. And then you have the other extreme on the male side, which is these feminists are creating men who hate women, who have just had so much enough of it that they're just as psycho as the feminists on the other side. So then they deliberately attack women on games. And I've had both scenarios when people do find out I'm actually a girl. And it's weird because, well, you know me. I don't do that shit. I don't play that fucking game that way. I just play the game to play the fucking game.
hmm
So um, so yeah, it's kind of these women have turned gaming in some instances into a very hostile environment. Um, when you get women involved in some areas because people are just sick of it, and then the women who aren't that way are like, "Why are these guys attacking me?" It's just because they're hearing a female voice, and I don't blame them. I just think people should take everybody one on one, and so they're really ruining gaming for everybody, and it bothers me because I like gaming. I want to have fun. I don't want to deal with this shit, and they're making us deal with this shit, whether we want to or not. And I don't know if you've dealt with or had any scenarios where some girl came in and she was turning into a total psycho bitch.
Not really. It was a way different experience than it was more the girl using the fact that she's a girl to get what she wants from other
All the
people. And
attention,
oh my,
yeah,
and it was,
I
oh
hate
my
that.
god, it was crazy than you actually think. Actually, my god,
And
it
guys
was.
fall for that too. There's some guys who fall for that, and I really feel bad for them because those women are so manipulative. They
hmm
like the attention. And has any other woman actually come in at like two women in the same party who are like that? Oh my God. I've been in the background when that's happened because they didn't realize I was a girl
Mm.
and just listened to it and oh my god, the claws come out. And the funny thing is the guys don't even realize that these women are going at each other viciously because they do it in this like sneaky backhanded way that most guys can't even pick up on and or ignore, and they're just vying for the girl's attention, and these
Mm.
girls are just feeling threatened because there's another girl in there when they usually get all the attention for themselves,
Yeah.
and it's really annoying.
It's
And
funny
I
because
was
it's. I mean, it's funny, but it's like, come on, guys,
it's
really.
sad at the same time. Yeah, on all sides. I'm looking at this whole thing like, oh my god, guys, how could you be so stupid? And then I'm looking at the girls like, oh my god, you were pathetic. And nobody in the whole party realizes that I'm a girl just listening to all this. I'm kind of laughing my ass off at the same time as shaking my head. Um, so it's kind of weird. I wish people would like just that shit for a bit and just play the fucking game. It's just a game.
Yeah,
Just
I
play
mean,
it. Have
it's
fun.
been like that ever since for a while, but like I mean the whole like feminist thing doesn't really help the situation. Now it's more escalated towards the fact that men are going to
That's
be
what I'm
more
saying.
hostile towards gamer girls now. I mean,
Yeah,
what
I've
I would
seen.
do to go back to their old days really were like guys would just try and flirt on the girls, but nowadays it's just like a whole bunch of fighting and arguing, and it's not
Yeah,
like it used to be.
it's
Yeah.
kind of both, And I had an encounter not too long ago. Yeah, the feminazis. That's if you watch the beginning, I preface it with the type of feminists that I'm talking about. Not the average girl that just identifies as a feminist without actually like reading any of the new ideologies and anything. They just think, oh, I'm a girl, and therefore I must be a feminist. I'm not talking about those girls. I'm talking about the nasty ones. Um, and so, like, before a lot of this stuff started getting really heavy, I was in a party with somebody, and I was friends with one of the guys, and he invited me in. And this other friend of his, whom I'd never met before, was in there. And we were talking about stuff. They were playing like Ark or something like that, and I'd never, I'd never played the game except that I had the alpha on the computer and my computer couldn't handle it, even in the alpha. And so I was like, okay, yeah, no, fuck this game. It was not very well done because it was the alpha. And we bought into it, so I
Hold on,
totally forgot
let's
about
keep going. Hold on.
it. Okay. So I totally forgot about it, and we were talking about the game, saying, "Oh, that game, I don't know about that game. I was playing the alpha and I didn't really like it." And they're like, "No, it's better now." Blah 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 blah. And then we got to talking about Horizon for some reason. And if anybody, well, you guys probably don't know, but I don't like Horizon personally. I think in general it's a well-made game. Like they did a good job with the mechanics and stuff like that. I just don't like the mechanics. I felt the story was weak.
I'm back.
You may like it, I don't care, but I felt the story was weak, and I thought it
What,
was
our
stupid
survival?
that they were. No, Horizon.
Mm.
And so I was talking about Horizon with them after Arc and saying how stupid I thought it was that there were metal animals. It just doesn't make any sense. It seems so
Uh,
ridiculous and retarded, and I didn't care what explanation the game had. It's stupid. And I still think it's stupid, which is my opinion. People can have other opinions. But the one friend who I didn't know of the guy who I did know, started saying, "Oh, why don't you just shut up? You fucking woman, complaining all the time, blah 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 blah." And I was shocked. I was like, "What the fuck?" And the fact that my friend didn't say, "Hey, no, she's not like one of those girls," was weird to me. And
it's that mostly has to do to the fact that they don't want to speak up at all. That's happened. I've seen a lot of
yeah,
that shit happen when I used to play Call of Duty back then. People like
well,
would
then in the next breath, this dude starts complaining about shit. It's like, you fucking hypocritical asshole, you know? And and it's like, I don't care. Have an opinion. I don't fucking care. It doesn't hurt me any. You know what I mean? My opinion's my opinion. If you don't agree with it, then state your reasons why you don't agree with it, and then we can agree to disagree, or I can see your way and say, yeah, you do have a point, whatever. but you don't have to like. He just did that, and that was in the height of all the psycho feminist stuff that he heard woman voice, and he just was like, nope. And I was shocked because my other friends started acting like that a lot too towards me, and it's like, when have you ever known me to be one of those women? You know? And they seem to forget this, and that's what I'm talking about with the other side, the reactionary side. There are some normal guys who just react; they're just sick of it, and then there's guys who just literally hate women. There's women who literally hate men, and so yeah, it's it's weird, and I wish people would just like calm down. Most women in games aren't feminists, but there are some lurking around that are total bitches, and you will know the difference when you actually speak to one. Um, so yeah, I guess that's all for me. I kind of went over everything that I wrote down.
Well, uh, that's well, you know what? That's pretty much the overview of what stuff can go down with feminists. Well, not feminists, but like how both sides are with men, and then there's a side with women, and how all that can collide to be nothing more than destruction and chaos, pretty much.
Mhm. When all we should be doing is fucking playing games.
It's
That's
like
it.
it's amazing how all this just affected the gaming community. Well, then I mean, it was there, but it was like never really looked at like that
Not like
before.
this.
It was
They
more
were making
like,
their own games, like that one chick. They were making their own games. They were staying in their own little corner, being their psycho selves over there,
mm-hmm,
which was fine with me. You buy your own shit, you stay in your own little fucking corner and leave the rest of us normal people who like games alone.
yep. And I mean, we look back at times and like, I mean, got like, I mean, people would say, "Oh, like if you're playing video games, like, that's cool." I mean, they you would be commended for playing games and stuff and playing these type of games. But nowadays, it's just
It's like, oh yeah. If you run into a feminist, oh, you're just objectifying women in a video game. It's like, no,
there's
no, I'm not.
there's plenty of female characters who in video games that I can name off the top of my head in seconds. If you want to go ahead and start to
Mhm.
argue with me,
Resident Evil's one of them. Um,
Last of Us is
well, the ones
another.
that I played, Last of Us. Um, there's what is that other one?
It is
Tomb
Devil May
Raider, but they're
Cry.
like,
You got
oh,
Trish and Lady.
Tomb Raider's so objectifying to women. Look at her boobs. It's like,
What's
yeah, I
wrong with
think
her
they're
boobs?
ridiculous,
You
honestly.
can't help
But
how they grow.
if the game developers want to make them that way, then they can make them that way. You know, like I think it's ridiculous personally. But I'm not gonna bitch at anybody for it. I mean, all I think about is, God, that woman must have some back problems, you know.
Exactly. Like
But
Jesus
the
Christ.
developers made it that way, so they can make it that way. It's if I like playing the game, then I like playing the game. I don't fucking care how big her boobs are. Do I like playing the game? That's the question, you know. But that's a female protagonist, and then the most recent one that I can think of, Horizon. You can't play anything but a female. You know, I personally don't like that character at all. Um, but, you know, and I didn't like the fact that I didn't have a choice between genders because I typically like playing male characters. Um, but yeah, it's just, I don't know what stick has gotten shoved up their asses, but they really need to take it out and stop.
Just honestly, to be honest, it's mostly also developers' fault for giving in. Feminists,
Hmm.
they will say things, but they can't make it happen. It's all up to
Hmm.
developers. And like I don't have any respect for developers that give in to that stuff.
Oh yeah,
BioWare,
I've lost
it's off my list of
respect from
developers
BioWare.
now. Favorite developers.
Yep.
Well, I
Same
mean,
here.
if they actually got rid of the people who did all that little changes and giving in, then cool, you're back on my list. But if it's still going to be there, you're going to continue to give in, then I won't never support your games ever again. I'm sorry.
Mm,
It's just that's how it is. I don't
yeah.
care if the game gets 10 out of 10. I'm still won't buy it.
I'm waiting to see what comes out next,
Uh,
cause if they disbanded most of the people and they're just in support roles now, then they might do better because they used to have good games, you know.
Yeah.
But they totally they didn't go as psycho, but they totally ruined Inquisition. It was a little more subtle there with stuff, but and I have no problem. You know me. I'm well, for lack of a for ease for everybody to just for the sake of saying um, bisexual, but I identify as like pansexual. But for the sake of everybody, because it's easy, bisexual, right? So I have no problem with including things like that, but don't shove it down people's throats.
Yeah.
Most people aren't like every new person they're talking to saying, "Oh, I'm bisexual" or "Oh, I'm transgender." Most people aren't shoving that down people's throats in real life. So why do you need to do it in a video game? You
Yeah,
know,
there's I
make
mean
it
there's a
subtle.
difference of having it there and trying to force it. So it's
Hmm.
I've,
In the BioWare games, it's always been a thing where you could have gay romances. You know, you could romance a whole bunch of different characters, and that was always just a mechanic. You could or you couldn't. It wasn't shoved down your throat, which I think is the appropriate way to do it. Because I'm not walking down the street to the people like next to me saying, "Oh, hi, by the way, I'm bisexual." "Oh, hi, I'm bisexual." Nobody's doing that. You know, it's weird. So why are video games doing it? Um, if they want to put it in, they put it in. If they don't, they don't. Who cares? You know, if they want to have a black guy or an Asian guy or a fucking female or a male as the sole character, that's up to the developer, not me. I don't know how to make a game. You know, it's not. It should be their choice, and who cares if is it a good game or not? That's all it comes down to in my mind.
yep. Oh, Scorch. What's up, Scorch?
So
But
yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much the thing with that.
Hmm.
So, dang, that was. Were we still talking about Gamergate?
We were, but it's so convoluted and weird. I just like try and find somebody who can explain it clearly because there's so
Well,
many
you
aspects
you
to it,
know
and I
more
just
about it than I do, really. I mean, I just pretty much know from what people like what videos that I saw. And I never really tried to get too much involved in with this story before. Um,
mm,
I mean, the more I know more about it because I watch a lot of Alpha Omega Sin, and he's one of my favorite YouTubers and stuff. And I saw a
mm,
couple of his videos about it. His rants are funny and they're really cool and stuff. So that's the only
mm,
reason I know from it. And then I saw Angry Joe's side of it, and then he mostly talked
yeah,
about how, like, I mean, yeah, we should like be angry about this, but we shouldn't be going too overboard with it. But
right.
yeah, at least I saw his opinion about it, and
I say just ignore them.
that it's kind of hard for
You
people to
know,
do
like
that.
just ignore them. If they push that shit in a game, ignore the game. Don't buy the game. If you don't want to deal with that shit being pushed down your throat, don't support it. You know.
Kind of like how everyone was crying because Witcher 3 wasn't diverse enough. What was about that? What does it mean? Like, you mean talking
Oh
about the whole
yeah.
sexuality?
Okay, there was this issue. All right. If I remember right, what the feminists were bitching about was violence against women in that game and that it was mostly white people. Now, isn't that game set in more of like a northern Viking-ish type of area?
Yeah,
Okay, well, it would make sense that people are white and they were going for more historical accuracy. And back then, women didn't have equality back then. They got treated like shit.
gotta
So if
go
you
by
want a game
history.
that's going for more accuracy in history, it would make sense that if you're playing a female character, your female character would be treated like shit. So it's a game mechanic. It's a fucking game. If you don't want to be treated like shit, if you don't want to play the game, then don't play the game and don't play female. Yeah, and with the whole thing, if it's a Viking game or if it's a game that's set in a northern area, you're gonna get paler people per evolution. You know, you see people like if I go down into the Sahara Desert, I'm gonna get darker because my skin needs to get darker to block all the shit all from the sun, right? So if I stay there and you have people that stay there for long periods of time, over thousands of years, you're going to get people who end up being darker eventually, right? So if you're set in a medieval area up north, you're only going to have whites. So if you're going for historical accuracy, that's how it is, you know?
I mean,
I'm all for,
you could put them in there if you want to. That's up to you. But I mean, they were going for more of the
yeah.
history, so I can't really blame
Hmm.
them for that. I didn't really. I see. I never
No,
think too much about it. I
I
mean, you
don't
gotta
either.
really like just. Ugh.
It's like if I'm playing a game that has me fly into Egypt or something, like some kind of like Indiana Jonesy type game, and it has me set in Egypt or Thailand or something, and all I see are white people, then yeah, that's going to be a little bit of an issue because there's if you're in Thailand, you're going to see Asians. If you're in Egypt, you're going to see a mixture of brown and lighter skinned people. You're not just going to see white people everywhere. So it depends on the setting of the game. And if it's set in a medieval northern area, you're going to only see white people. Period. That's it, you know? And I just that's the thing about feminists is they ignore the context
Yeah,
completely.
they try and find so many ways to complain and just they don't even think
Yeah.
about the history, and that's where they make them seem so dumb. I mean, how
Mm-hmm.
you know? I wonder how actual feminists feel about this. Like for real, like they have now been so like they have been blocked out completely now. I mean, feminists used to
Right.
stand for getting women to have equal rights in the world. Now it's just
Now it's like in some cases women actually have more rights than men.
yeah,
Like in the court system, for instance, when it comes to kids, the court preferences the woman getting children versus the guy, even if the guy is a better choice for the kids to be with. And I don't agree with that. That's not equal rights. That's women having more rights than men, you know? And yeah, the suffragettes had their place, which
the
I'm responding to a comment for people listening later.
what happened
The
to the what's
suffragettes had their place. Those were the women who were trying to get women's rights for voting. Um, that they had their place. That was actual fighting for equal rights because they didn't have the right to vote. I agree with that. And if you're going to classify me um, as a feminist by that definition, then yeah, I would be. By modern definition of just accusing rape everywhere and accusing men of hating women just because they're a man, no, I'm not a feminist, and I refuse to call myself a feminist. Um, because I don't want to be associated with that shit. That because a lot of them are man haters. And now I'm not talking about the ignorant girls who think, "Oh, I'm a girl, so therefore I'm a feminist. It makes sense. I believe in equality and blah 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 blah." If they're one of those girls, you don't have to worry about them. But like the psychos, nah. I refuse to identify like that because most people, when they hear the word feminist, they have this negative reaction now, and rightly so, because these loud ass third wave feminists are nuts, you know.
oh
So
god.
yeah, I don't want to be associated with that shit. Fuck that.
Third wave feminists are the ones that need to go away. Who knows? Maybe
There's no
maybe they
reason
will.
for them right now. They talk about the wage gap and pink taxes. Okay, for one, my husband looked at the razor prices. The pink tax is to do with razors and feminine products in the grocery store, right? He's like, they're the same price, you know. And oh, if you don't want to pay extra for something that's colored pink, just get a men's razor. If it's cheaper, why are you paying more? I thought pink was an issue for them because it's gender stereotyping, you know.
If someone like
So
pinks, there's nothing wrong with pink. I
I
don't
know,
get it.
but like, why they make an issue out of fucking everything, everything.
Oh,
It's
this
like,
computer was not
oh,
built right for my style. My style. No, this paper
right,
is not. Give me shut. Let me shut the hell up.
yeah,
Stop.
this pink paper is objectifying women. I swear, there's a feminist somewhere saying something like that. I'm serious. Stay-at-home moms, they're objectified. They need to be out in the workforce. No,
If
they don't. If they want to stay home, then they can stay home. If they want to work, they should be able to work. End of story.
That's
Period.
totally up to them. That's totally their decision if they want to be a
Exactly.
stay-at-home mom. Like you don't have to try to help that. You like what the hell?
Yeah. But then saying that there's this glass ceiling issue too. It's like, for one, they failed to take into account that certain very hard labor jobs pay more. And some women don't want to do that job. Like, I don't want to work in a steel mill. I don't, because it's hard fucking work. But those guys get paid pretty good. What is it? There are some women that do forklift driving. Not many people do, and not many women do compared to men. But that's a high-paying job too. So they're saying that like women get paid less than men, but they're failing to take into account that women in general tend to pick lower-paying jobs. So that's the first thing. So they're taking the overall thing and then making an issue out of it. There are some instances where I found in my life in trucking where because I was a girl they tried to pay me less, but I knew my worth, so I would
Hmm.
negotiate. Um, but in a corporate setting, like if you're working for fast food or if you're working for anywhere and you catch them paying you less than other people because like your starting wage, let's say you start at the same time, like I'm a girl, this other guy starts at the same time as me, right? And they're paying me 7.25 an hour and they're paying him $8 an hour, then I know that they're paying me less because I'm a woman. Because by law, that's illegal. You know, it is illegal. So they're making an issue out of fucking nothing. And it's driving me nuts because I've, for the longest time, I made more money than my husband. I made more money than any guy I've ever been with, for that matter, until recently, where my husband got a better job than I had. And then I stopped working. Um, So up until that point, I don't know what they're fucking talking about. And I was in a male-dominated workforce too, and I didn't have a problem. You just have to be smart. And I wasn't a company driver. I was a contracted driver, so I worked as a contractor, right? So I had to negotiate. They're like, "Oh, we want to pay you this," and I'm like, "No, I know I'm worth this. You either pay me this, or within this bracket, or I'm looking somewhere else." And they're like, "Okay, all right, your record's good. We want you. We'll pay you this." That's how that works, you know? But so many women don't know how to speak up and actually have an opinion on things. That's the other problem. You get a lot of feminists who are like acting like your stereotypical woman with no opinion and won't speak up for themselves and then bitch about it later. It's like, you can't do that. You have to put your foot down, and then guys can't. There are some men who hate it when women do this. Now there's a difference. You can't be a bitch about it. You have to be firm and blunt and articulate about it. You know what I mean? You can't just be a bitch and say, "Well, I want this because I deserve it." No. You say, "Hey, I want this rate because I can do this, 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 and this, and here's my qualifications. I don't have any blah, blah, blah on my record. I'm cleaner than most people that you'll ever get in here." I mean, you probably wouldn't say that, but I'm just paraphrasing. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Be
Yeah.
professional about it. But most women aren't. They're just idiots. And then the feminist types are idiots too, and then they bitch about it later and say, "Oh, it's the patriarchy." No, it's not. It's half of it is because you're a dumbass. Sorry, got me on a tangent now. I
No, no,
hate
no,
it.
no. You
They're
gotta let
fucking
it out,
pissing me
Drunky.
off, and they're ruining my life as a normal woman, right? So, like, if I wasn't with Ryan and I was out in the dating world, right, I'd have a hell of a time because a lot of guys are. I've right, and I used to dye my hair blue. I stopped now because they're all dyeing their hair blue and pink and purple and weird colors and stuff. And it's like if I have my
They
hair
wanna
short, if
try.
I,
They wanna try and
I
be
look
anime
like them
girls so
now.
bad.
It's so annoying, and I don't want to be confused as one of them. So if I was out there, you know, they'd it'd be hard to find like dating wise. You know what I mean? Because they're fucking ruining it for all us normal girls. It's annoying. So anyway, I got off topic from games,
Oh no,
but
trust me. We pretty much are talking about this, and and stuff. So I mean, to be surprised, we're still on topic one. It's just deeper than we thought it would be, and we got into the whole discussion about it.
Oh,
But
it is.
and you needed to
When you,
vent, Drunky. You definitely needed to vent because I
I've
know you
been
go through this
wanting
more
to
than anybody.
do
Like,
a
so
thing about feminism for a video about feminism for a long time because coming from like what I consider myself as a rational girl's point of view, looking at all this shit like is pissing me off. I could go even deeper with the whole like rape accusations and bullshit, what it does to guys who actually haven't done anything and they're just accusing this guy and ruining their life for no fucking reason just because whatever bullshit in their head. And then they're screaming every rape accusation should be taken so seriously, but then they're going around actually and actively demeaning and taking away the importance and severity of people, men and women, who get raped, really get raped. And now they're crying wolf everywhere and nobody wants to believe anybody. So it's harder for people who actually have had that issue to come out and say, hey, look, I gotta get this, you know, I got raped. Let's go get this person. But nobody wants to believe them now because of all these fucking bitches going around screaming rape because they regret the night before. Oh,
it's really just
mm-hmm.
there's a point in just like actually I don't know what to say really. I mean, I think I pretty much said what I needed to say. Drunky, you pretty much summed up everything. So
Yeah, I hate it. It ruins men's lives. It ruins women's
social
lives. It
justice
ruins.
warriors.
Yeah, that word has been co-opted. If you break down those words, social, justice, and warrior, right?
Mm,
It sounds to somebody who's never heard that term before as something good. Like, hey, yeah, I'm all for social justice. You know, making sure that oppressed people aren't oppressed. Blah 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 blah. It sounds reasonable, but um, when you get that term associated with the people who identify with that, then you have the psychofeminists and the people trying to change gender pronouns and stuff. And you want to have a neutral gender pronoun? Just say you. How are you doing instead of how are you doing, ma'am or sir? You want to avoid that? Say you or they or them. There's already stuff in place for that. Don't start with a Z, Zer, Zer, Zod, whatever, and try and put up in Canada, they were actually trying to pass laws where people can be cited, I think, for hate crime if they don't use the proper, like, weird made up pronouns and remember them. It's really annoying. And what Scorch Knight said, when men get raped, no one believes them. And I do want to bring that up because too many people focus on just the women's side of things. Men do get raped. And whenever any guy tries to bring that up anywhere, all the feminists flock to the comment sections and start saying, oh, you're co-opting us. Why does it have to be about men all the time? They're doing the exact same thing that they claim men are doing to them.
honestly, what's his name? Antonio said I forgot his name, but he was the dude who does like top 10 facts and stuff. I remember
Mm-hmm.
he came out with a video, um, pretty much explaining his abusive relationship with this woman who was
Mm-hmm.
I forgot her name, but she's one of the hated YouTubers on YouTube. I forgot her name, but I
Right.
think you'll know who I'm talking about. But he pretty much made an entire video explaining the relationship he went through with this
Mm-hmm.
woman and how just like how wrong he was pretty much she made him stop talking to his friends. She would just
That's just
wrongly hit him for no
obnoxious.
damn reason. And you just go look up
Mm-hmm.
that video and you'll see whenever you get through with the podcast. You'll see what I mean. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah, no, I know it, and a lot of people. There's been, and I know we've talked about social experiment videos and stuff like that before, but it is an actual thing. I've seen it in real life. If a guy is hitting a girl in public or being violent towards a girl or aggressive verbally, people will actually step in and tell the guy to back off. If it is around, um, and a woman is being aggressive to a guy, everybody laughs and thinks it's funny. Men can have the battered wife syndrome too, you know, and I think it should be called battered spouse syndrome because it's just attributing it to women, but men can have that same situation, you know.
Hmm?
Abuse is abuse,
Wait, what do we? Wait,
and
I'm not gonna lie. We're kind of we kind of really getting way too off topic. This is supposed to be a gaming discussion here and how this stuff has affected the
mm,
gaming community, but we kind of
but
got
yeah, it's all kind
way.
of like yeah, way off topic, but yeah, I'm hoping that people will just kind of like calm down. Basically, the same advice as trolls. Don't feed the trolls, you
Hmm.
know. Um, if we let them keep attacking gaming, then just don't feed the trolls, you know?
All right.
And then maybe it'll die down.
Well, as a lot of people, as one friend told me, the world has become a YouTube comment section. You'll have the people who make sense, and you'll have the people who's overly aggressive, and then you have the people who are just feeding into everything.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah, Ember, that was the whole before you showed up, that was the whole discussion about feminists attacking video games.
yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to topic two. We're gonna actually, I'm gonna have to let Jiranki get to know this because I didn't really have much of a research on this before it started, but over the time I never paid attention to it again. So we're gonna go on to the topic about Anidia Sarkeesian. I think we talked a little bit about it before and around the beginning of the stream, but we didn't really touch too much
Yeah,
into it. So
that
Jiranki, okay, I'm
fucking
just gonna give
woman.
you
Oh,
my. I need to go ahead and say something so I can actually, because
all
right
right.
now Jiranki is kind of being the dominant one in this whole podcast when it comes to
No,
knowledge.
sorry, I went off on a tangent real bad.
Anyway, Anidia Sarkeesian is actually pretty much like the typical over psycho feminists who spread false accusations and pretty much turns which is something normal and not really looked into a much of a big deal into something that is a big deal. So, Drunky, go ahead and take the floor yet again.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I know, right? Scorched Knight says, no, not her, get the torches. Um, my sentiments exactly. Um, I actually, Embered, I was gonna make a video, but I think I've gotten most of it out here. Um, but I could go into deeper topics, but she's just beyond toxic. She's got a huge, let me just go over and see how many subscribers she actually has.
I think it's like
Um,
500. Like last time I checked, it was like 200 or 100,000. I think but that was like
yeah,
4 years ago though.
right. Let's
Oh,
see.
I need to tell you something. I think you might have saw this picture, but there was this picture that came out with Nia Sarkeesian. She had like at least 100 games stacked up, and she was
Mhm.
sitting next to it, smiling. Like, the picture was
She
saying that,
doesn't have
"Hey,
a
I'm a gamer
point
girl
game,
too. Let's all get along." But and
but she
then
doesn't.
and she's gonna try and talk about there's too much violence in video games. But in one of that stack, I saw Doom, Grand Theft Auto, and a whole bunch of those violent video games she was pretty much protesting against. So why the hell are you
Right.
saying that violent video games are bad, but you playing one of the video games, you supposed gamer? What the hell? Like, come on. You just,
Oh God, she's got a video on Dishonored 2. I don't even want to know what she's gonna say about that.
what's there to say about Dishonored
Oh,
2? Because the main character's a
I have
female?
no idea. I'd have to watch the video, but I don't want to give her a view.
Let's just go on with the
That
topic
might be
before
that
we
bold.
start. Just go ahead and
Okay,
just.
so she has 222,651 subscribers as
Uh,
of
she,
now.
she didn't
And
gain much over the years then, which is
no,
understandable.
but she does have that's a lot of people that either agree with her
Or
or
just watching her videos to shit on her and make videos about it next.
yeah, or that. But why would you subscribe to her if you're just gonna rip her videos and
I would have to burn my YouTube channel down if I ever do subscribe to her, which will not happen.
I know, right?
I feel
Oh,
violated. I'm about to press charges. No, let me shut the
so
fuck up.
that's like these are all women who either are interested in games or looking into games that are either mostly, I'm willing to bet, mostly feminists that are subscribed there, that are paying attention to this gaming stuff. And I'm willing to bet that a lot of them actually play games themselves or like to think they play games, like they just play Zelda. But of course, Zelda's a problem too in their book. Um,
Because of how Zelda's
because the
portrayed in the story mode.
princess thing. Because
Oh,
the
god
weak
damn it!
little
Really?
princess, and you have to get, yeah. Um,
That's like an old school
oh,
thing. There's something wrong with
I
that.
know, I know, I know. It's
God damn
it's
it!
it's
This
psychotic, isn't it?
woman.
Um, Somebody went over it
Like
and is
Sonic.
like, no, actually, the new Zelda, the princess is there to help. You're not rescuing her, whatever. Um, so she she banked off the whole Gamergate thing and used that momentum to gain a lot of like, what's it called, like exposure.
Mhm.
And she's just all she does is spend her time ripping down and tearing down video games and claiming that everything is a patriarchy. She doesn't stop, and that's not the only thing. She spews a lot of ridiculous shit that all these people who watch her gaming stuff go out and if they're playing games, they're gonna spew in the game, you know, to anybody in the chat with them. And these 22,000 people or 222,000 people that could potentially be going out there and having some influence on developers, you know. Now, the problem with feminists like this is that they tend to be really organized. They have groups where they meet, like there, you know. If she puts something out and says, "Oh, this game is horrible," let's all write to them, you know. Even if half the people write, 100,000 comments coming in to a developer at one time is a lot compared to us who are just like, yeah, our games, you know, like we don't think about doing that, you know what I mean? So they've got this organization, and that's why I think she's incredibly toxic and damaging. Um,
She has
and it's,
oh, hold on to interrupt for a second. She has this
mm,
video called "The Lady Sidekick," and I see Ellie in the thumbnail.
oh my gosh,
About to
like
force this bitch. I'm about
if
to
she
force
ruins that, I'm gonna be pissed.
Ellie. I mean, of course. I mean,
Ellie's
like,
awesome because she's just a normal little girl who's getting through tough shit,
mm-hmm.
you know. And if she tries and says, "Oh, she's heroic," and all this shit, or says, "Oh, she goes with this stereotype," I can't watch that video. I'll be pissed because
Uh,
whatever she says is gonna piss me off,
mm-hmm.
you know.
Ellie is
Because
freaking
like
awesome.
having been through some really horrible shit in my life
Uh-huh.
and people saying, "Oh, you're a hero. You're, you know, like you're so brave." No, motherfucker, I wasn't brave. I was just trying to get through. I was just trying to live. You know what I mean? And that's what I hate about that stuff is like a hero chooses to do something that is dangerous and that they don't want to do for the benefit of themselves or others. You know, somebody who's brave is a similar thing. You know, they're not doing it. They're doing it out of choice. They're not doing it because you know they want to. They're stuck in a situation that they can't get out of, and they just have to push through. And that's the situation Ellie's in. She's stuck in a shit as a kid during that time with all that crap going on. She's not being heroic or a hero.
She's
She's
just
just trying to live, you
mm-hmm.
know, like everybody else. So anything Anita says about her, I won't. Ooh, unless she says exactly what I said, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Well, I don't even want to watch the video really. So I'm just gonna just move on and just probably forget trying to force myself to forget about it.
Right? Like, the, uh, there are lots of other people who have dug into her stuff a lot more than I have and picked apart every little thing she said. Um, and they do a good job at it. So, like, my concern usually is more or less feminism in general and how it affects me as a normal girl, how it affects my games that I like to play, and how it affects other people, not her in particular. So, like, Basically, a good rule of thumb is anything that comes out of her mouth, don't believe it.
I mean, anyone with common sense wouldn't listen to an idiot Sarkeesian.
Ugh.
I mean, but
I
then again,
just,
it's kind of hard to find people with rare common sense. I mean, depending
I
like out
don't
of
know how people can like watch that shit. I've seen a couple snippets in other people's videos where they've taken her video and shown clips. Some of the stuff she said pertaining to some of these video games and characters, and it's just like, are you fucking high? Like, no, that's a just that's insulting high people.
high
Are you a
people.
rock?
I
No, that's
don't
insulting rocks.
understand. Like, we know that women can be strong. We know women can have the power to defend themselves. But then she just
Right.
takes it to a whole new fucking level and just try and just like, well, what's the word I'm looking for? Just I don't know, but she takes
Went
it.
beyond reality.
Yes, exactly. I mean, come on, you don't have like just because like women used to be like the person used to be saving, that doesn't mean like they're looking down on women. And then there are some women out there
No.
who like
It's
sometimes
a,
can't defend themselves. Can't help that.
that whole medieval mentality of women needing to be taken care of and saved and stuff was perpetuated by women themselves back then. You know, they wanted to be being delicate and frail was seen as a beauty thing back then. That's where that came from, you know. Um, I'm sure if they were put in a trying situation and they didn't have that mentality, they would be just like a lot of normal girls today. You know what I mean? Um, I don't consider myself a weak person, and I don't, but I don't go for all that shit too. And there are some actual differences between men and women. Upper body wise, men are stronger. They just are. Except when you get into certain cases. I met some women who are like built like tanks and they could kick anybody's ass, you know, but you can always find a guy who's bigger and stronger than her too. You know what I mean? It's just people are different, you know? Some people are strong legitimately, some people aren't. Men and women, you know. I've seen guys who couldn't even beat up a 5 foot tall woman because they were so frail and weak. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I don't understand where they're getting this shit from. You know, of course women can handle things. You know, and I don't want to say the typical thing, but fucking childbirth is not a light thing. You know, some people say kidney stones are worse, but still people get through it, right? So trying to say one person is weak or another, are they talking about physical strength? Are they talking about mental strength? Or what are they talking about? Because every single person is
it
different.
I mean, like yeah, people. It all really depends. Like I mean, you're not. How
Like,
am I gonna say this
you know
shit?
what I would hate is
What?
if there was a video game where there was this girl who was like way too butch and way too like I'm strong all the time. That bothers me. That goes back
That
to the
would
whole thing of
really
like
see.
forcing shit down your throat. You
Exactly. There
know?
you go. See, that's how you force stuff down your throat. I mean, if you're gonna make a female character do all that 24/7, then like there's a difference between that being like very cringeworthy and way too
Hmm.
forced, exactly as you said. And then
Right.
and also it would also be fuel for the psycho feminists to defend too. Oh my god, I could just see that. Anyway,
Oh, I
getting off
know.
topic.
It's like
Getting off topic. Let
if
me shut up.
if anybody's ever seen like if they did this in video games, like and I've seen this in some video games. Has anybody ever seen what's it called? The girl with the dragon tattoo.
I don't
That
think I
movie.
watched that movie. I've seen trailers, yeah, but
Okay.
I don't think I.
Well, the first movie based on a book was Swedish. They got a woman in there who's drop dead gorgeous, by the way. Um, she lost a lot of weight and got really thin. She's very short anyway, but she lost a lot of weight, looked really thin, and to get looking a little bit rougher and tougher. Now, the girl in the book is like that,
Hmm.
right? Now, the Swedish version, it's actually believable, okay? She's she's small, but she looks tough. She's got a lot of character in her face. You can see the depth in her eyes, like maybe she's been through some shit, you know? Whereas the American version of this, they went all towards fashion and makeup and making her look creepy. She looks too frail and ridiculous. And we're supposed to believe that she can kick people's asses. I'm sorry, but no. I mean,
That's,
I've
I
seen some of
mean,
that in video games where you see something that just is so not believable at all. You know what I mean? If somebody's doing that type of, the Swedish girl had, you could see muscle tone, right? She was tiny and thin, but you could see muscle tone, so it looked like she had some physical strength. And in her eyes, she had some depth, so it looked like she had mental strength as well. But in the American version of this same movie, the girl didn't have any muscle tone. She was just a twig. She was almost anorexic, and it was not believable that she could even conceivably kick anybody's ass, let alone have any leverage or power behind anything she did. Um, so that's one side of the things. And then there's the flip side. Like, I've never seen G.I. Jane, but like the super butch, like I can do anything, I'm such a manly woman type of thing. I don't understand that. Like, it's just forcing something. Like, you don't have to prove that you're tough. You just have to live. You know what I mean?
right,
There's a difference. You see it in people's eyes. You'll see the strength. And some character creations in video games, they do a good job with that. Like, it's always coming back to The Last of Us. But the female character in the beginning, um, who you're partners with, I can't
yeah,
remember her name right now, but you can see that. You can see the wearing of her face in the situation that they're in, the slightly tiredness, the she's tough, but she's not a total bitch cunt. You know what I mean?
right.
Um, you see it in Ellie's face, and yeah,
G.I. Jane, I'm afraid. Wait, what are we talking about, G.I. Jane?
it's an
Like,
old movie. It was just an example of like an overly butch woman who's trying to prove how tough she is. You know, I've seen the trailers, and I never wanted to watch the movie because of it, because it just seemed ridiculous to me.
oh,
You know?
wait, when did this come? I remember this, oh, 1997?
Yeah, it
Oh,
was a long
I
time
think I've
ago.
seen
I
some
was like
clip of it. I
13.
don't really.
But
Oh,
even at
wait, what?
13, I was like, I don't want to watch this. This looks stupid. Um, but uh, but there's good ways you can make strong characters without overtly doing it. It's like an inner strength versus an outward, I gotta prove it to everybody, right? And I think that's what the feminists are wanting. It feels like they're pushing for this outward, I'm so strong, I'm such a woman, but I can do it, you know? Um, you don't need that. You just have the character do it. Show it in the lines in the face. Show it in slightly looking tired or something, you know?
I'll take your word for it, Scorch. I
Yeah,
won't
don't
watch
watch
it.
this. Don't watch
And as my train
it.
comes by, God damn it, train.
But yeah, there are some video games that can accurately convey a strength with a character, men or women. There are some. Oh god, don't get me started. Errand. Remember that pussy guy that I was telling you about in fucking that passive aggressive little piece of shit in uh oh, what is it? Horizon New Dawn, right?
Yeah, I just
That
when
errand dude.
I
I
looked up the
fucking hate that
video,
guy.
I was like, okay, this guy he makes things way too awkward. I'm sorry, he
I
tries to
know.
joke and it fails, and he just like he can't pick that back up and try and
It's
like,
so bad, but I've met men like that. That is an example of a very weak character, a very weak person in general, I feel. And when I see somebody acting like that, there's a difference between social awkwardness and somebody who's slightly passive aggressive like he is. Like, oh, you don't like me because of this. You know, it's like, why are you just assuming and putting shit in my mouth, you know? Right? Why are you just putting words in my mouth like
did they
that?
make him like that on
Um,
purpose?
I think they did. And that is the type of guy that a lot of feminists want. These
What?
weak kind of That's they bitch at anybody but guys like that.
I,
I'm serious.
my God, I know I'm so
I've
confused
got
right
some
now.
friends on Facebook like this.
You get friends on Facebook? Oh, God, of course. Well, that's Facebook,
I've
so I
got
mean, it's,
I've got Facebook friends of every fucking demographic you can think of. I've got super liberal friends, I've got libertarian friends, I've got very right-wing friends, I've got Christian friends and atheist friends and, all different colors. I've got a large group of friends that are like very diverse. So I get a good like feel for different like ways people are thinking and stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of girl feminists and even feminist men act like that because it's seen as something that's good and non-threatening towards women. Um, I have a problem with overly masculine, like I gotta prove how much of a man I am. That's stupid. You shouldn't have to do that. Just like a woman shouldn't have to prove how much of a woman she is. Who cares? You just are. Just live your fucking life. And there's nothing to prove because people are gonna make their mind up about you from a few seconds after seeing you in the first place. You know what I mean?
right.
So, and there's nothing you can do to change that. um, so yeah. But there are some games that really get it right with the character creation and don't have to be overtly like, I'm such a tough woman,
It's just people who get
or,
it, honestly.
yeah.
Like, for some reason, that's so rare sometimes that,
And that goes back to the good writing that we were talking about on the last gaming discussion, how important decent writing in a game is,
good
and
character
decent
build.
character creation and animation with their face because what was that? There was this one movie, and I'm kind of getting off topic a little bit here, but there was this one movie with,
Hmm?
God, I can't remember his name now, but there was almost no talking. The character had like two lines in the whole movie or something like that, and all of it was done with facial expressions. And it was incredibly deep and good. You got a real good feel for like the pain that this character had went through prior, his history and everything. It was very well done. And video game creators can do the same thing, you know? You
Mm-hmm.
can do a lot with expression. And that's where good game design comes in. You know what I mean? Like The Last of Us, I can't get over it. They did a really good job with that game. It was just really good.
Again, I just want
So,
to go ahead and say, just because it was from the creators of Uncharted doesn't mean it's the same as The Last of Us. All right.
mm-mm. So yeah.
I
I,
mean,
I I have to play Witcher 3. I've never actually played it. I've wanted to, but I haven't.
I played a little bit. My friend let me borrow it. I'll say
Mm-hmm.
this: my friend let me borrow it. He got it back then, like the next day, and I never got to freaking play it after that. And like that was my only chance to
No.
play it. He wanted that game back that badly.
I heard it's pretty addictive, you know. And like I do want to try playing it. It did look good. I like those types of games with the whole RPG kind of story game and like that's why I like Dark Souls, I think, is because it's Jesus Christ, the depth that Dark Souls series has in the lore. Oh my God. It's
Hmm.
just you
And
dig a little bit and
people
then it's
made
just
channels off of that,
oh I know.
and like
Just
this.
pure Dark Souls lore. Uh, yeah. And another good game for story, which is kind of lighter and a little quirkier, which I really like. If you get into it, you can find the stories. It's a lot more overt than Dark Souls, so it's more obvious. But I do really like Fallout 4. You've got some real weird characters in there that are funny. Like if you ever play Fallout 4, Marcus, go look for Pinkman's Gallery.
Actually, I have Fallout 4 with me. I bought it with my friend for like $8.
Okay, go to the Pinkman's Gallery, follow that quest line when you hear about it. you'll get a request to go and check out this guy. Um, I don't want to spoil it for you. It's awesome. That character is just fucking awesome. Um, in such a creepy, weird way. But they do little things like that, and it's got its issues, but with like some glitches and things like that. But like they're always, I like those games. They're pretty good. I do want to go back and play all the older
Fallout games.
Fallout games. Yeah, because
Uh,
Ryan's got them on the PC.
oh, well, see, that's the thing. I think the first two Fallout games were only on PC. I think.
Mm,
I'm
I
not
think it
really
was.
sure, but I never. I don't know if I can ever really get to play them. Let's talk about Samurai. This is not about Samurai Jack, Crystal. I'm sorry. Witcher 3 is full of emotion. The characters have feeling. See,
Yeah,
Hate
well,
My
that's the
Friend got
thing.
that. He got it back so early. I only had like a day to play with it. Dang.
That's what makes a game rich for me. Like, I'm gonna talk about games that I know, obviously, because I haven't played Witcher 3, but um, like I'm sure you can attest to this, Marcus. Like in Dark Souls 3, right?
Hmm.
There's not a lot of talking to NPCs in that game, but when you come across them and you start learning a little bit about their stories and stuff,
Yeah.
they don't even have to say anything. You just kind of feel this like we're in this shit together kind of kinship.
Hmm.
It's really weird, you know? And you can't even see their faces because they're covered up in armor half the time.
Right.
But who doesn't love Sigurd, you know?
Ah, Secret. I'm
Yeah, who
honestly, I have
doesn't
to
love that guy?
say, I'm more along the lines of Sigmire because like
Yeah.
that dude right there, like this is why I always say that Dark Souls 1 will probably always have the best lore and the best characters cuz in Dark Souls 1, like you said, this whole like we're in this shit together, you will really, and when you find out everybody's story in that
Mm,
game, you will get that sense of like we're in this together.
right.
And
Like just recently, it hit me with I summoned Henri to help me with Pontiff Sullivan, and then I went in to help
oh my god, wait,
with
wait, wait,
Aldrich, right?
wait. What did we say before we start the stream, Rocky?
All right, but
I,
just let me finish it.
I,
I just felt this sadness for Henri. I was like, her fucking story, or him, depending on which gender you are, Henri changes, um, is just so sad, honestly.
yeah,
It
and
really
this,
is. And it just hit me the other day. I was like, holy fuck, I didn't realize this, you know? And it was kind of interesting. But yeah, I should save the rest of it. But
yeah, because we're gonna go through all this in our
we're gonna
next
go into Dark
week's.
Souls.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Anthony is gonna love that because like, um, actually Anthony, who is like the Ember Undead, his
Mhm.
first game was Dark Souls, and when he first came to my stream, he didn't play either of the Soul series at all. I just like for a while now, I just assumed he did because like,
Right.
but now like he's gonna love that stream. Freaking
Mhm.
trust me. If he's still in the
I'm
stream
gonna
right
love
now,
that stream.
I want to talk about Demon
Oh,
Souls now, but I gotta save it. I gotta
right.
save my erection for that later.
I got a lot of lore
What the
watching
fuck
to
did I
do because
just
I've never
say?
played those games. So
Uh, yeah, you
just
can have like
to
a
like
whole
get
week to.
a feel
Uh,
for it.
yeah.
Yeah. I gotta play Dark Souls 2 a little bit more so I can kind of have more of a hands-on opinion with that one.
It's. I'll just save it for
We're
the
still
stream.
talking about Dark Souls.
Yeah, and what are we talking about now? The aftermath? Oh, we kind of summed up the aftermath of all this in like the first hour of this
Yeah, I mean,
stream.
I guess
Dang.
the only thing I can say is that it does seem to be piddling out, like calming down a little bit with the feminists, because I don't think they're getting anywhere as much as they want to. And the backlash is so huge that I think it's kind of dying down, and people just, the rest of us need to calm down and just like ignore them. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it's like the more like
And
things
don't
like
support them.
things happen and keep going because you give a reaction to it. If you don't give a
Right.
reaction to it, the stuff will just go away, and it's
Yeah,
just that
but just pay
simple.
attention and be aware when they do influence the game. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Just so that you don't accidentally support it if that's something you don't want to support.
oh my god, I'm sorry, James. Just the whole gaming discussion, and then I just saw the G, and I got it messed up. Just look in the chat, drunk. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay, just saying.
But,
I need more coffee.
but yeah, sorry about that. What's going on, James? But yeah, it's sometimes you just can't, and this is why I go back to like the whole developer thing, and I hate the fact that they got suckered in and just changed things, and the backlash just went on them. If they did not give in the first time, you Mass Effect Andromeda probably would have been a good game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, the glitches would
The
have been looked
glitches.
at differently. Now, I'm not talking about the facial expression, I'm talking about the glitches in the game. That would have probably just been ignored. But
Oh yeah,
now it's
they're not very good at fixing their shit for some reason. They've always been really bad. They'll make a game, they'll have a lot of problems, and then they just kind of, fuck you guys. We're just gonna leave it. They've always kind of been like that, um, but yeah, with the aside from everything else, if they hadn't have pushed that whole like thing and made every woman look like a normal woman, which I'm sorry, but none of those women in that game represented me. They were all
there is no women
really
out there
bad.
who have a face that's like it's made out of clay. Okay,
Yeah.
it's just
Or look mostly like a man like that. I mean, there are some women, but
oh my god.
that look like that, but I highly doubt they're playing games.
Yeah, it's
You know.
yeah. I don't think that like I'm sorry. I just never ran into one, as you said. I never ran into a woman who looks like that at all. I mean,
Mm-mm,
just
me neither. It's just, ah, why did they gotta push that shit on?
it's
And of
okay. I
course,
just
here's
got
the
them.
funny thing. The funniest thing about that whole game is all the men looked good.
I never thought about that before,
Oh,
actually.
right, the whole woman sky thing. They got all pissed off about No Man's Sky because it's had the man in there.
You okay? That's you guys, Scorch. You gotta be joking, right? You gotta be joking, right?
Mm-mm. It was uh it was a thing.
You
It was
can't not.
really a thing.
Uh, oh my. Well, no one gave a crap about that actually, since everybody hated No Man's Sky. I'm just assuming. I mean, it kind of like didn't really.
Mm,
I've actually saw a video that people are that some like developers are coming out with patches for like Mass Effect and Drama, but I don't really see a difference all that much with it. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, they did a little patch and it fixed some things. Like their eyes were, oh my God, there was this one character. Okay, this girl is supposed to represent all women, right? Or a bigger, broader representation of women, right? Oh my God. She had this short hair, and you can see in a lot of clips. It was one of the clips that they highlighted because her eyes were just like they messed up the eyes. And most people, you can't see the top of the colored bit, right? You're like, okay, if you look at your character on the thumbnail, right? Most people don't have that colored bit highlighted by all the white around, right? It looks unnatural in humans. That's when somebody's like scared or wide-eyed or looking crazy, right? Well,
Right.
they did that with all the characters, and their eyes didn't have any shadowing on it, right? So, and they were super bright, so it made them look psycho. But this one girl in particular, her fucking makeup was so gaudy and ridiculous. Like, there are very few women that I actually see walking around with that bad of makeup on purple eyeshadow that's just like doesn't complement the skin tone of the character even, and giant swaths of like um blush or the red shit on the cheeks, right? Giant swaths of that, and like this pale, her hair was pale like her skin. It was just so bad with these bright, like, piercing blue eyes that didn't. It was so horrible.
That's pretty much.
And
I'm pretty sure that's just their way of trying to like cover up the fact that they did a really bad job of how women looked in the game.
look up those clips with
Oh, I've seen them.
the the
Trust me,
facial things and that
I've
one
seen them.
character. You'll notice. Oh my God, she is so horrible. It's like, when did they think this was a good idea? Why did they think that a natural woman has that much makeup on her?
They
If they're
panicked
going for
because of the
this, why are
freaking
they putting so much
feminists.
makeup on?
They panicked because of the feminists, and they're trying to make it like that's $40 million. How are you gonna fuck it up with $4 million? $40 million.
The other thing I never understood, makeup on these girls, right? So you have a post-apocalyptic world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got these women wearing makeup. I don't get it. If let's say feminists are involved with this, right? And in some cases they are. Why are they putting makeup on these characters? If they're all saying that women don't need to bow down to the patriarchy, which is a male-dominated thing, and all women, they shouldn't have to wear makeup or shave or anything, which that's your choice in my opinion, but it's not because men tell you to. It's because your mom's taught you to,
Right.
for one. Um, and if they're thinking that all these things are mechanisms of the patriarchy, then why are they sticking makeup on girls in video games? It just seems so hypocritical to me, you know?
Right. It,
Uh, it's like, why are they still making characters try to look somewhat appealing?
I
You
mean,
know,
if you
why aren't they walking around with bushy armpits and hairy legs and no makeup if they're trying to represent the everyday woman, you know, and go against the patriarchy. I'm using air quotations right now.
it when it comes to things like, I mean,
Because it doesn't sell, because people don't like looking at that. And they know it. That's why they still shave. That's why they still do these things. You know?
right.
Because they know it gets attention from guys. Because they want the attention, just like every girl who wants attention. Now, I'm not talking about the creepy, like, creeps attention. I'm talking about just like, hey, guys looking at you type of thing. You know, like, hey, checking you out, but not getting creepy. That's everybody. Everybody wants to be looked at and appreciated like that for looking good or whatever, you know? But they try to pretend that it's not a thing. And then it translates into games. They scream and scream about it, yet they pile on the makeup and do the same shit.
It, hypocrites. That's all I can really say
Yep.
about that, honestly.
Yep. Oh, sorry, I'm still in rant mode.
No, Junkie, you pretty. As I said right now, you're pretty much the dominant one in this entire podcast at this point because you
I'm
have more.
sorry.
Like, I can't really I can't really say anything honestly other than I disagree with a lot what feminists do or how psycho feminists do. I've never really come across any feminists like that, honestly.
Right.
So I can't really have to say I had the experiences like you do, drunk, because you've been through more than any I don't think of
Right.
anyone's seen when it comes to stuff like that. I can't really say
Right.
anything, so it's
And that's the thing. A lot of girls, like I said, the majority of women who identify as feminists don't even know about the psychofeminists. They just think, oh, well, I'm a woman. I believe in equality. I'm a feminist. They just go that route, and they're not the problem. The problem is that they didn't bother to look into why people don't like them because they're calling themselves feminists. Um, and it's just it's sad because, like, if I hear the word some woman calling himself a feminist, I don't want to associate it with them. I had a coworker who, um, my last job, she was very feminist. I mean, she was a man hater. She was treating men like shit, and um, we were in a retail store. You can't treat customers like that. You know what I mean?
right.
And and God, it was horrible. And I said something that was just a figure of speech one night because it was in a bad area of town, and we closed late, and a lot of times by ourselves. And I said something, and she just jumped down my throat as if I was part of the patriarchy all of a sudden. It's just like it's a switch, and they just go on attack, and it's crazy. And I'm like, whoa, hey, it was a figure of speech, and I was speaking against it, speaking for these people's frame of mind, you know. And oh my God, it was bad.
It was a fucking war. It was a battle between.
She actually almost got shot
Oh
by
shit.
a crazy person. This guy was off his hinges, but the way she treated him definitely contributed to him focusing on her and wanting to shoot her. Actually had to talk him down. He came in the store with a gun. She wasn't there, otherwise she would have been shot. But I had to talk him down and get him out. And oh, but that's the type of things, you have these psychos and they trigger other psychos, and then you just got psychos running around everywhere.
Oh boy.
Sorry, I'm
It's
going off on tangents.
no, don't worry. It's all good. This is pretty much what we're talking about is feminists in gaming and feminine or feminists in general. You could say
Right.
they
But
just they're getting to everything and you I
yeah,
don't I I don't know. Uh,
get their grubby
what
little
were we
hands
talking about?
involved.
Nidia Sarkeesian?
Yeah, we were, but
Uh,
like I said, I've only seen videos that other people have done about her because I refuse to give her views. Um, I do not want to watch one of her videos. Um, all I know is that because like I said, I haven't really focused on her so much individually as opposed to her involvement in the destruction of gaming in general. I think that's one of the reasons why stories are so weak now, is because they're trying to push this shit, and people are like, I just want to write the game and make it neutral for as many people as possible, just so that they can sell it.
right. Right. Um
So,
I mean, I do have a strong belief that I mean, like I don't like some game stories are like I don't say they wouldn't be too weak. I mean, I've pretty much been stuck playing games I'm only interested in, and I pretty much enjoyed the story. Um,
mhm.
I mean, what games do you think they're like getting like weak? You talking about like Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah, I think um, they were pushing too hard to make her like I'm a strong woman. Um, so I saw a lot of like influences from the SJW crowd and feminists in that game, and I didn't like that. The structure of the game, the actual gameplay, aside from the story and the mechanics of the stuff, like how things worked, was pretty good. I had my issues with some things, but with some of the controls and how the base, the meat of the game was working. But in general, like the story was weak, and it seemed like this in the cutscenes, the way she talked, the options that you had for
Oh
conversation, it just screamed like I'm trying to prove how tough of a woman I am. And I didn't like that about her, you know. She, as far as like, I didn't like how she looked personally. Like, I would never date a girl like that. But as far as a normal girl, of representation of like a normal girl, she wasn't, as far as I remember, wearing makeup. Um, she looked normal. She wasn't ugly. She didn't get beat with an ugly stick, and she wasn't supermodel. If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna go that route, they did that well. But the whole like I'm a strong woman theme throughout the whole thing was a little too much for me. And so that's one of the reasons why I had with it. And some of the characters, it just like it was a lot of things in the story was pandering to stuff in the real world as opposed to
Their
stuff in
own
the
world.
game. Yeah, it should have been stuff pertaining to the game world, but you could see the leakage from the way it was and the whole SJW thing. It's kind of seeping through that game, and that bothered me. I felt like they should have just stuck with that world and not trying to inject certain ideologies throughout. Um, but her trying to be a strong woman just felt like the most obvious and annoying thing of the whole, like, writing of that game.
Mm. Well,
Other
I
main
mean,
character.
I still have to
Trying to think.
play Horizon Zero Dawn. I still want to give that game a chance. I mean,
Definitely try and play it. You know, you might like it. The gameplay itself is not bad. It's better than I thought it would be. Although I do have to say, you know how like in certain games like Devil May Cry and other games that are more casual, um, certain actions that your character does are auto actions,
mhm.
right? So let's say you're trying to jump across something and you just keep holding down the button, like in Devil May Cry you might do a double jump, right? And or certain things in the environment are there and it'll auto do things. I had a problem with that in the game because I would be jumping across something or trying to climb up a wall and it would just auto do it. And that would fuck me up because I got so used to Dark Souls. Every action is your own fault or your own success. You're responsible for every single action you do. You want to hit somebody, you spam R1 too many times, it's your fucking fault. You know, if you roll, you're not rolling twice. You have to hit roll twice to roll twice, and that's what I liked about Dark Souls is you had complete control of your character within the movesets. Anything you did was a deliberate decision on your part. Whereas in Horizon Zero Dawn, the actual game mechanics didn't quite work that way. Sometimes you would auto do things that you didn't say, hey, I want you to jump here also. She'd just do it, which really kind of bothered me. But aside from that, the combat it was it was built for the game the way the game was supposed to be. Don't like that kind of combat, but um, it's it works for what it is, you know. So you might like it. Aside from all the other issues, you might like it. A lot of people do like that game.
Well,
I platinumed it just so that people could not pull the whole "oh, you didn't even play the
those
game"
trophies
thing.
must have been very easy.
Oh yeah, that's the other issue I have. There's some games where the trophies are just fucking ridiculous, and it's like, really, this is impossible to get. Like, so situational. Dishonored is one of those. Like, you can either play as the father or the daughter in that game, and the trophies, there are some trophies that you can only get playing the male, and there are some trophies you can only get playing the female because they have different powers, right? Their powers are similar but differ in some ways, sometimes drastically. And so, in order to get certain trophies, you have to play both characters. And some of them are absolutely ridiculous. Like, there's one where you have to change because you can possess people, bugs, fish, whatever, right? And because it's a stealth game. So one of them is you have to possess a human, a bug, a fish, a rat, and like back again, like complete. It's called the circle of life or something like that. And you have to do all of this within like 5 seconds. It's insanely hard. And usually all those things are not in the same place. So that is an extremely difficult trophy. Whereas some games like Horizon, the trophies are so easy to get, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I think Horizon is like it's too easy. It's ridiculous. It's not even a challenge. Um, and then you have other trophies where it's just like grind, 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 like the Diablo 3. There's one where you had to do like 500 rifts or something like that, or 500 um, certain missions. And I mean, that's insane. It took me days to get that trophy, just always doing that mission over and over and over. Oh my god, it was horrible. Um, but yeah, Horizon's trophy thing is just it's pathetically easy.
Because, like, I
But
mean, holy crap.
it is. But I platinumed it just because I am so critical of that game. And I did put out a couple reviews. I still haven't done my overall end review yet, which I need to do, but I don't feel like ever doing because I need
I
to
mean, if
edit.
you want me to, like,
Um,
never mind.
I
I mean, I could help you
will
with
do
the
it
editing,
eventually.
I guess, but
I know, and I gotta do it because I gotta voice over it and I gotta put my thoughts in a concise pattern. And I don't do that usually. You know me, I just kind of talk. I don't plan things like that. But I know the kind of comments I'm gonna get with that, like, "Oh, you didn't even play the game. You barely played it." You know, that type of shit. You wouldn't be saying this if you actually played the game. And it's like, no, motherfucker, trophy picture. There you go. I fucking platinumed it. All right. So don't tell me I didn't fucking play the game. So, yeah.
well, gotta check that out still.
I think,
I
I
forgot what
mean,
I
in
was
general, I
gonna.
think you'll like it, but there are some issues that are just like, yeah. There's one character, there's two characters in that whole fucking game that I actually liked. There's a psychopath. He's kind of funny. I liked him. And there was this other guy on a, like, he helps you save some empress or royalty or high up there person on a boat. And when you get off the boat, if you do play that game, when you get off the boat, he says something, and he just kind of puts the lead character in her place. It was great. I can't remember what he said, but I fucking loved that guy. I was like, yes, tell that bitch. You know?
My God, you know you're doing bad if you don't want to root for any of the characters that are actually good.
Right? And like, I did not feel a connection to the main character that I played throughout the entire game. I didn't feel connected to her at all, let alone the guy who supposedly raised her. I did not feel connected to him whatsoever, you know. And you'll see when you play it, you'll see. Um, but yeah. Oh, speaking of struggling for trophies, that's on Dark Souls 3. The worst one is that fucking Dark Moon Blade.
Look, that's pretty much the developer's fault for making the Dark Moon Covenant so damn stupid.
Right.
Why would you put the Blue Sentinels like it was somewhat like like it was like a replacement for the Dark Moons in Dark Souls 1. But I mean,
Mm,
bringing back the Dark Moon, you should just brought back the Dark Moon Covenant instead of just trying to have both of them there at the same time. Because Blue
right.
Sentinels, you can only come in as Dark Moon if someone had the Blue Sentinel or the Way of the Blue thing on.
Mm,
So no one hardly did it. I never did it. I never had the Blue Sentinels thing on because I just always assumed the Dark Moon or Blue Sentinels were different, but it was both
right.
under the same thing. And I
Mm,
never got some because during the time of Dark Souls 3's release, that stuff was impossible for get to get even a single invasion in as a Dark
wow.
Moon, and I never bothered with it because I could never do it. So
Yeah. On the low levels now, if you stick around between like 20 and 50, level 20 and 50, you're gonna get summoned a lot. Like a lot. It's insane. And
that's
don't go
because
above +6 on your weapon.
that's mostly because people are. I don't know why people are doing so much low level invasions. Like
I don't know. I mean, I think they're going through the game low level and they're getting or dropping themselves good shit, and it's easy ganking, you know, on the invaders part.
yeah, because you
They go in, catch the newbies first trying the game, and yeah, they just rip them apart. I was experiencing that, and you were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, "No, seriously. there's there's like all these people coming in, and I can't do shit. I had to stop. I had to suicide after every boss just to get through the fucking game.
I never really like holy shit. Like I never like I mean I know people have done low level invasions before, but shit, like this is Dark Souls 3 brings that to a whole new level.
Oh, it's constant. It is fucking
Wow.
constant. Um, like I
Wait. We
what?
see now we
Yeah,
have to
we're
do
talking
that
about Dark
stream
Souls
next
again.
week. We
We
have to do
do.
that. There's so much to talk about with each game. There's so much history.
Exactly. The Embered Undead just said it, and
What
this
do you
is what I
say?
always say.
What do you say,
They
Ender Undead?
invade low level because they can't beat actually good people. Exactly.
Oh my God, I
We see
gotta
a lot of
save it. I
high
gotta
level
save it.
invasions too.
I gotta save it. I wanna
I'm
save it.
sorry,
I wanna save it so
we'll
bad.
be talking about it again because we're gonna go all in depth with Dark Souls
Oh
next
God,
time.
don't,
But
I'm gonna write a whole book
that's
about
gonna
Demon
be a
Souls.
fun one. I'm looking forward to that.
I can write a whole book about Demon Souls, man. Like God, Dark Souls. I can be
Mm,
like Miyazaki gonna be getting copyright shit thrown towards me. Like you stole my no. This is mine now. You should never brought the game out. No, I'm just stop. Let me
right.
shut the fuck up.
High level invasions are a thing now too. Like my character's 232, and my husband's got one that's what is it, 260 or 280 or something like that. Constantly invaded.
Oh my. Oh yeah, the 200 range has a lot of players too. The 200 range.
Mm.
Oh my God, it was. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. Dang, we should have done the
I
Dark
think I
Souls
know
stream and the
why.
gaming stream. Like, oh dang.
We're doing it next week. We're doing it next week. We
Yeah,
got it. But Dark Souls always comes up because that's what you and I know kind of best at this point.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yo, what's
Because,
going on,
well,
Skullface? Welcome to the podcast, my friend. The Sentinels are fucking useless. They, that's true. Like, okay, let's talk about Dark Souls 3, okay? A little bit about Dark Souls 3, all right? We got to do that.
yeah,
Because right
because if
now
you
at this
think about
point,
it, you can't turn anything into the Covenant for the Blue Sentinels. There's no fucking Covenant for them to turn anything into. You don't get
yeah,
a separate reward.
they really just, altogether, they really just screwed up the Covenant system in Dark Souls 3.
Oh yeah, they
I
did.
mean, like, at least in Dark Souls 2, like, each Covenant was, like, its own thing, and now it just feels like Covenants are just all over the place in Dark Souls 3. There's like there's no there's no separate there's no what
Well, there's
I
no
want to say
reason to feel
balance.
loyal to a Covenant either,
It's
right?
showdown. It's like I'm cheating on each
Because
one.
you can just swap all the time whenever you want. You just kind of
Yeah, it's
swap.
like
Um, you don't feel any allegiance. You don't feel connected. There's no risk in swapping. There's no, like, you don't get stuck with one. You don't have to make a heavy decision and think about it and pay attention to the lore. You're just like, oh, okay, I got this, I got this, I got this, and you're good.
it's
There's a couple risks with like what is it? Um,
for that one
you
quest
can
line. Nah.
Yeah, you can fuck up the whole Blade of the Dark Moon thing only if you actually give a tongue to Rosaria before you get the Dark Moon gesture.
Mm. Oh yeah, I remember that. I
And
definitely
that's
remember.
about it.
That's it. That's really it. I think in Dark Souls 1, there were actual risks of leaving covenants. I think if you
Mm,
I think you if you leave the Wars of Sunlight Covenant to join the Dark Race, your level will decrease by 1 point, and you
mm.
can't use Sunlight Spear anymore.
See, that makes sense to me. I mean, it sucks from like wanting to have everything type of perspective, but it makes sense. If you're gonna pick a covenant, especially in a world like Dark Souls, that's very dark like that and very kind of medievally looking and stuff, it makes sense that you would have repercussions if you left something, or that you'd have to, if you're picking one because you feel loyal to that, that's your play style or whatever. That should be how it is. And there should be consequences, I think, for just leaving willy nilly. you know?
Yeah, well, like what Ember Undead said, if you leave the Forest Covenant, of course you're gonna get ganked by the NPCs that are in that covenant, and they will keep coming back, except for the ones that have the invisible ring on. I think they stay gone for good.
Mm. And
Oh,
that
and
that makes sense.
wait, Death Shark. Yes, that's right. I tried to the Watchdogs Covenant. I never joined them at all. I never had any reason to want to join them. I guess
I joined them, but
I didn't have
I
fun with the
didn't do anything
Covenant.
because I don't like invading other people's games. So I, uh, I don't like PvP, but I hate invaders. So I'm very much a loyal Blue Sentinel because I like to help people and give them a little bit of hope. That little Blue
That's
Sentinel thing is
exactly
here.
how I was with Demon Souls. Because in Demon Souls, I never invaded anyone in Demon Souls. You had the option, but I was more as the person like if I get in like as I said this before, I explained this. Demon Souls had this thing with the whole black soul tendency and white soul tendency.
Mm,
Um,
oh, the whole
I
same
never
thing.
wanted black soul tendency. I mean, at one
Mm,
point I had to do it because I wanted to platinum the game because there's this like quest line you
right.
can do once you do go to black soul tendency. You get this
Mm.
NPC called Metastopheles. And holy shit, how did I remember that name? Holy
Because it's
cr-
ingrained.
That's just how like that just I feel like I oh my god. Like I mean I
Well,
love Demon
dude,
Souls to death, but like
sticky.
I can't believe I remembered that name. Like God,
Right.
Metastopheles. You get she once you do complete the whole quest line, you gotta kill NPCs. She tells you to kill, and
Mm,
so you get this thing called I think the Black Soul Ring. No, no, what was it called? It was some type of ring that was equivalent to the one that the Monumental, the person you talk to begin the quest line to open all the archstones to go to different places. And once you have like
mm,
pure white soul tendency, he gives you a ring for like as a blue
right.
phantom, and then like for the black soul tendency quest line, she gives you a ring for red phantoms. So yeah, that's all the
Mm.
rings in the game and stuff. So yeah, I was always the person to be summoned in to help people or to be summoned in for fight clubs. I was the one I didn't care as long as I was pretty much helping the host. That's how I was
Right.
a lot in Demon Souls. So
That's how I am in Dark Souls. I like Dark Souls 3 is I like that feeling of potentially giving somebody hope like, hey, I might actually win this. I might actually not have to fight my way back to the souls. That's why I deliberately kept a character lower level so that I could go in on and help some of the noobs, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because I wasn't wearing Way of the Blue when I first started. I had no idea. Had I known that, oh my god, I would have like later when I did realize it and somebody invaded me and I saw that Blue Sentinel such and such name has come in, I was like, oh yes, I might actually be able to keep my shit now. You know, it was a little bit of hope. And then the secondary thing as I got better at the game and more used to the game is, oh shit, are they gonna fuck it up and run after this guy and get themselves killed?
invading in Dark Souls 3 is bad. I don't think it's bad. It's just people are just really stingy when it comes to it. That's just how I see it because I don't have a problem with
There's a
invading.
lot to
Like
that.
I know what
That's a
to
whole discussion too.
I mean, I know that like people are like invaders themselves are frustrated, but in terms
Mm-hmm.
of how I see it, if I want to do PvP, I'll just get some friends together and we'll host a fight club, or like I put my sign now. I go to the arena now. If you want to invade, you know what to expect when invading. Like you've been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing it for like since Dark Souls 1, honestly. Now, see, it's thanks to Dark Souls 1 I did get into invading because I
Mm-hmm.
had no limitations. I could kill an NPC and nothing would happen. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much that. Because in Demon Souls, I was always the thing. The thing with Demon Souls to me was like I didn't want Black Soul tendency. I wanted to use the white sword, no racist pun intended,
Right.
the demon brand, and I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
kill because I love the hell out the NPCs. You know how hard it was for me to kill them. That's how good the NPCs in Demon Souls for me was. Like shit, I did not want to kill nobody, but I
Mm-hmm.
ended up doing it anyway because well, I'm going to see him again in the next new game. So In Dark Souls 1, there was no limitations. I could do whatever the hell I want, and nobody would do anything about it, except for the Dark Moons if I invade
Even when you
somebody.
were invading, you could kill an NPC in somebody else's game.
Um, no, you can't do that. Wait, what did you say?
Okay.
Oh no, I couldn't. You couldn't do
Um,
that. I do remember there
yeah,
being an like
because that would suck.
there
Could
was
you
this.
imagine the trolls if
Oh
that was the case?
yeah, the only thing I think you could kill in Demon Souls as an invader was the Crystal Gecko, and you could actually make
Mm.
them lose that thing. I've seen someone do that before.
Well, that's fucked up.
That was real fucked up. Like that like I didn't like it was a video called like ways to piss off a host while invading him. And he killed the gecko and knocked it off the cliff. And I'm like, oh you ass.
That's just wrong.
That's
Oh my
just
god, that's just so fucking
oh my
wrong.
god, there's another mechanic in Demon Souls that's like if you die by a phantom, you lose a soul level.
Oh
Oh, I
fuck.
forgot about that mechanic.
Oh shit. That's
Oh,
funny.
I forgot about that mechanic because like it never happened to me much.
Oh
Oh,
shit. Because like the other day, I was I was playing Dark
I
Souls
got
3,
42
and I
subs and
was
I
like,
changed my name. Oh, sorry, hold on.
I'm
Doom Trisk OSG is no more. Okay, like Undertale after playing with the pacifist route. Yeah, there's. Oh yeah, I. Okay, what were you saying?
I wanted a way to go backwards in levels. I was like, damn it, I wanted to like not be this level or something. I wish I could go back. That could actually, I'm pretty sure people would use that for something, like constantly invade and deliberately get
Well,
killed to lower their level.
actually, there was this ability in Demon Souls you could get for using the Maiden in Black Soul after you
Hmm.
complete the game. There's two endings in Demon Soul actually. There's the good ending where you let the Maiden in Black take the old one back to where he came from. You get the Maiden in Black soul, or at the end of the game, you could kill the Maiden in Black and take all the souls for yourself, and you get the Beast Soul, which gives over 200,000 souls. You don't do anything with the Beast Soul besides just use it for souls. And then
Hmm.
there was this thing called the duplication glitch too, which oh it was
Hmm.
amazing. I loved it. Oh my god, the duplication glitch was so beautiful, delicious.
Everybody loves dupe glitches.
Yeah, Demon Souls like, they never patched it either. It was always there. And the funny thing is, the Japanese found out about that glitch. That you
Hmm.
gotta thank Japan. Anyway, back to what I was saying. There's this thing called the Soul Sucker, and if you actually use it, you could like just use it, insta kill an enemy, and not any enemy, but like you'll insta kill an enemy and just take their souls. Um,
Dang.
and you could actually use that on an invader, and that's how a lot of people will get souls. Cause do you know how many souls you could get from just taking it from like in the player? Look, if you ever get
Wow.
the chance, Drunky, look it up. There's still videos on YouTube about it, and
Dang.
it's like 900,000 souls one absorption. You can get
Jesus.
999,000 souls just by doing that.
Dang.
The soul absorption and like that. I mean, they lose a level if you do it too, but it depends if they want to if they want to do it
Oh,
or
if
not.
somebody's trolling me, oh yeah, I would do that.
Oh yeah,
I would so do
it's
that.
hard
You
to
know
do it
me.
because like they can see it coming a mile away, but you have to be really still to do it, or like you got to do it if they're AFK or something.
Right.
Damn son, B Soul is
Nah,
legendary. These son,
you know me. I'd find a way. If some fucking invader came in and was trolling me, I'd be like, no, motherfucker. Pew!
Beast
You're
Soul
done.
sounds legendary. The Beast Soul, it was nothing special. It was more or less like if you duplicated it, it's better. It's better.
Hmm.
It's easy to do it too. Just look it up, and I gotta remember how to do it when I do get the PS3 back in Demon Souls. I only do it for
Right.
builds because I know people are still playing Demon Souls. That's no doubt about that. The people are still playing
Hmm.
Demon Souls. Um, but yeah,
Or actually, like I said, I'm gonna play with you because we have a PS3, and I was talking to my husband like, we should go and get those games because I don't know if how long or if ever they're gonna like remaster this shit and bring it over here to PS4. I would love it if they did. I would buy the shit out of all that, but you know,
Oh
Might
yeah.
have to just
Oh
get
my.
the PS3. And he's.
Somehow I'm here. Sorry, I was my phone's being a fucking idiot.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna do a let's play of Demon Souls when I do it because I'm gonna enjoy that playthrough. And I got a couple of challenge runs did before I got my PS4, and then I lost all
Right.
my shit on my PS3 because I was being dumb again. But
Might have to get like a capture card and do it externally
yeah,
to the
that's
computer
that's what I'm
for
gonna. Oh,
PS3.
I gotta get a different computer. This Acer computer ain't gonna hold shit. Trust me. It's not
No.
gonna hold nothing. I hate the fact I could do it on my flash drive. Probably I can send all my videos to that because my flash drive has more
Mhm.
space than my computer, so it
Yeah,
won't.
probably could do that and then just edit through the computer.
Uh, or I can just take it and edit it on Share Factory. I can do that too, actually. Because I can now. Share Factory has
Mhm.
this update where you can take videos and just put it on there and start editing them down.
That's nice.
Uh,
That's really nice,
oh, that's the
actually.
plan.
I'm
And I'm
really
gonna do a let's play
doing
a
all
Demon Dark Souls 1.
that, right? Uh, we were thinking of actually doing that, getting like a capture card and doing things that way. If we got into like doing stuff, because honestly, it's a lot easier to edit on a computer than it is through Share Factory.
I just gotta get the right like editing software. A lot of people use
Mhm.
Sony Vegas, and that's probably what I'm gonna be getting. Hopefully, it doesn't
Yeah,
cost
I don't know.
too much.
There's some free stuff that works pretty good
I,
too.
I've tried a lot of free stuff, and it's pretty much it's bullshit. Honestly, I stopped using free stuff. I just might as well just say fucking just buy actual stuff.
Well, there are some things that are good. Like if you're pulling from like the Linux community, a lot of times they have actual functional shit over there.
Linux. I'll have to really do more research on Linux to see
It's
if I like it.
open source stuff.
Is it?
Like a lot of people use, even corporations now use what is it? Open Office
Hmm.
instead of Windows. The Windows writing thing, whatever it's called, Windows Office, because it's free and it does just about the same thing, and it reads Windows Office files too. So why not? Why
Hey,
waste
I've
all that
never
money?
played Dark Souls, believe it or not. Uh,
You have to.
it's like trust me. Like a lot of people say it's hard. I mean, I remember back then, people called Demon Souls the hardest game. Apparently, they never played Dragons. What was the name of that? Dragons Quest or something. That like. Anyway, on Demon Souls, it was people called Demon Souls the hardest game ever made at that time. I mean, I never like the only boss that like. I mean, back then I found a lot of bosses to be difficult until like I got better at the game, and I'm just like, oh, this is no problem. I mean, I'm probably gonna get one shot because I'm a new game plus 15, but yeah. Um, then Dark Souls came out, and people called that like a freaking over exaggeration of Demon Soul. That did make this game even harder. What the hell? It can be hard actually. To hear the stuff you go to.
Yeah,
Dark
I mean,
Souls, huh?
when I first started, you remember, Marcus? Oh
Oh
my
my
God,
god, you were
I
just
didn't.
you didn't know
Well,
when to do nothing.
I was playing blind, by the way, totally blind. Didn't know shit about the game or any Dark Souls, anything, nothing, like nothing. Never played a Souls game before. Never, I didn't even look up shit. And oh my God, was I bad. I was so bad at the game.
Hey, you just wanted to
And
see the overall experience. You didn't want help from anybody. I think you didn't want help anytime from anyone at the time.
I did take some help, but then I was like, it's going too fast. I want to explore more, you know? And I went off on my own and just kept suiciding after bosses so I didn't have to deal with invaders and stuff. Because I realize why I can't handle PvP now. My adrenaline reaction is too extreme. Like, I literally almost pass out.
Uh,
It's very uncomfortable.
the
And one
video
of,
that Alec put out, if I was there, I could have been coaching you because he wasn't doing nothing. He was not. He was just swinging the great sword around R1 style, just not even trying to. What are you stuck at, Skullface? And you just I gotta really, as I said, I mean, drunk, you might not like PvP, but there are times you might really come across things, and I'd say I gotta actually train you to like deal with certain things.
well, yeah, I mean, I understand that. I still stick myself in it being a blue Blade of the Dark Moon or Blue Sentinel. Um, so I've had to learn a little bit, but my adrenaline response is too much. Like I get extremely shaky. Um, like way, my reaction is too strong adrenaline wise for the situation, right? And I think that's one of the reasons. And I never put it two and two together before, and I think that's probably why I don't like PvP as much as I might
Spider
have.
Blaster. Yeah. I well, like when I first started out with PvP, of course, Demon Souls, I was really curious about it because at the time I thought, wow, I can actually go into another player's world and fight them. This is fucking awesome. And
Mm,
like when it comes to invaders, I've never had a bad experience besides the lag. Because Demon Souls,
mm,
its PvP was all over the place. It was just balls. It was just like it doesn't give a damn at all. But I
mm,
liked it, and I really was intrigued by it. And there were people who were hosting fight clubs, and there were people who got famous for hosting fight clubs. GG Doom. There's also another thing. If you go to the top of the Nexus in Demon Souls, you will see like there'll be an invisible wall. You can see like a roster of people who have like gotten like the most souls gained, the most times they complete the Demon Souls, the most Phantoms defeated, and then you will just be shocked at this. It's still there. I don't think anyone's ever topped the leaderboards between those guys. And there was people who were like it was just so fascinating to me, and I wanted to like, and I got into PvP because of this stuff because I wanted to be on top of that leaderboard and stuff. But it,
mm.
yeah, but Demon Souls, its PvP was it wasn't bad, but it could have been balanced. It could have been balanced better between like actual hitboxes and shit.
Right.
So
And that's where I think Dark Souls 3 got it right a lot.
it did. Some people don't
It,
realize that
they,
honestly.
it's they're not perfect, and it's I don't think it is ever gonna be, not for a while, perfect in a game with all the hitboxes and environmental boxes and stuff like that, all the invisible shit. But you know what? It's it's a lot more precise than just about any other game out there.
Mm-hmm.
We're just used to it, you
I
know?
mean, that's
And
why a lot of people say that I when it comes to Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3 has better improvements. I mean, the poise might not be perfect. I mean, the poise is better in Dark Souls 1. But then again, you got to look at the things you could do with that set poise. And
right.
and for some reason, when I look back at Dark Souls 1, I see why it's not hardly there anymore. I mean, I can understand you getting staggered wearing
Mm-hmm.
Havel's armor and you should not be staggered. I understand that, but at the same time, you got to think about it. People will be going into PvP with this poise, and if you
Yeah, I
like,
heard that was a real troll thing.
I told you, like people like in
Yeah.
Dark Souls 1, you use a long sword, you attack somebody with high poise armor, they can easily just phase that and not even get flinch and backstab you repeatedly. So
Right.
at the same time, you gotta understand that, yeah, poise is good if you want to like in PvE. You need poise sometimes. You want to try and tank certain
Right.
things, but people will be going into PvP with this shit and just misuse all that. So you gotta
Mm-hmm.
look at both sides of the situation. PvP,
Right.
like a lot of people sometimes just go into Dark Souls solely for the reason of PvP. Play the PvE a couple times, get everything you need, go into PvP.
Right.
So
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not for me.
yeah, yeah, like then
Some
there's
people
okay.
like that, you know. It's got a real big that's a huge aspect of the game,
Hmm.
but
Even though
like I said, it's not exactly my thing.
it's funny because Miyazaki never intended PvP to be so popular to begin with.
Right?
And like in Demon Souls, like he put that in there for just like for the hell of it, and people made a big deal out of that, and just like
Right.
hosted and it did so many things with the style of PvP. And he was really surprised by that too. And Dark Souls 1 comes around, he kind of did more with it. And Bloodborne, you could
Mm.
tell Bloodborne was never really meant for much PvP. It was mostly solely for the PvE aspect, and PvP. It was like Demon Souls; it was there just to be there. So for like
Yeah.
if people want to do it,
Right.
coming down here with that
But
damn motorcycle on purpose
kind
doing
of
that
back
shit.
to the beginning of like newer players and the one guy who said he hasn't played. It's Anybody who wants to try Dark Souls, do it. It's a damn good game. And this is coming from somebody who was always playing on easy mode every other game. I was real kind of casual, and I I tried this because everybody was doing it, and if I, as bad as I am at games, can get good at this game, it's you can do it too. It's
Yeah,
a fun game. It's an awesome game, and as bad as I was before, I don't think anybody can say I'm horrible at this game now.
yeah.
I'm not bad at the game. The amount of many
Tweet it to
there's
me.
plenty that hate
Uh,
this.
um, honestly, if it was not for Supersonic, I mean, he has like a memory issue, and he doesn't really remember the things he went through with Demon Souls. I used to be really angry at him for that because it really did hurt me. That like if it was not for him, I would have never gotten into the Soul series to begin with. But I got over it. It's not his fault, so I kind of
Yeah,
feel bad for really snapping at him a lot for it. So I did apologize to him. He didn't
I
really.
love Sonic. He's fun to play with.
He people say like I mean anyone would think he'd be
He's
boring, but
easy to
he's
play with.
not. You got to know him for a long time to get the things he could do. Uh,
Oh no, it's like I don't know what it is with our play styles, but like we definitely like play off each other when we're playing together. It's like
mhm.
everything goes so smooth because
It
with our play styles, it just matches like in the right way. And it's weird. It's like I play with my husband, and our play styles are so different that we end up with like issues. You know what I mean? Um, with like getting through stuff sometimes, and it's funny different play styles. Like if you play with a random person, like you just get summoned in as a summon, or like a phantom or something, or if you summon somebody else in and you go through the game with them, it's kind of weird, even without speaking.
I
Without
realized that
you feel like this weird little kinship with some people. Some people you just like jive with, so to speak. It's just it's kind of cool. I have several friends that I've met through doing that, and never actually talked to them, just played with them, and it's kind of cool.
yeah. I realized that when I got summoned with people. I remember I used to get on to you about how you act towards a lot of people you never like played with before. But when
Hmm.
I played with somebody, I mean, I have not played or co-op with randoms for like a very long time. I've
Right.
always just stuck with the group for like the longest, and like I never really went out to do things, and if I couldn't do it, I just go solo. I played with this one dude. God damn it, this son of a bitch did not know what he was doing, and
Hmm.
I got on to you about it, but now I'm looking like okay. It's just the fact that I haven't called with randoms in a long time.
Right. And I co-op with randoms a lot. I usually because there's some bosses
Fuck
like the
Pontiff.
Twin
Yeah, he's a
Princes.
dick.
I I figured out the Twin Princes really well. I can read them really well now, and that fight, which used to be a pain in the ass for me, has become a really fun fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go and just constantly, like, for several hours, just keep putting my sign down to fight him. And
I was fighting the
it's
pursuer.
it's interesting. And sometimes you'll go through and like you have those hosts that it's obvious they're new. They don't know where they're going. They've never been there before. They have no idea where anything is. And that's why, like, if I'm going and helping people a lot, I'll bring the little prism stones. And sometimes it's fun to like you see their character, like how they move, kind of react like, "Oh shit, I had no idea this was here." And they'll either clap or wave or something and say like some kind of in-game thank you, and it's kind of fun. Like I've led people to places, I've showed people stuff
Mm-hmm.
just through prism stones and gestures and things, and it's kind of fun. And then sometimes you get people that are just horrible. They make every wrong decision. They know where they're going. They've played the game before, but
That's
they're
why
just so
voice chat was a thing.
right.
That was so happy. Hold on, a moment respond to this on Death Shark. You were fighting the pursuer knight, someone killed you with the ballista. Oh, the
Oh,
the
that happened to
that
me.
flashbacks. God
Oh, I
damn it! This
hated
is why
that.
I want friendly fire to come into Dark Souls when it comes to
You know
certain.
what? There's one thing from Dark Souls 2 that should have been in Dark Souls 3.
What's
It
the
had to have been. I'm so pissed that it isn't there.
what?
The no way gesture.
Oh, I was hoping they were gonna bring that back.
I saw that in Dark Souls 2 and I was like, what the fuck? Why isn't this in Dark Souls 3? This is so fucking useful. You know?
Mm, th-
Like I was helping people with that one guy with the stupid crossbows, right? The pursuer. I was going in and helping people as a summon to kind of learn him, right?
mm,
And people kept killing me with that fucking thing. So as soon as people started running over there, I started doing the no way gesture. You know, it worked a couple times, but um, I don't think they knew that they could kill you, or if they did, they were just being dicks. You know,
and the funny
but
thing is, I remember watching this one guy's video. He was one of my favorite old school. This is how I got into more Demon Souls stuff. I watched this people called the Four Player Podcast, and this one guy named Brad. Everybody loves Brad. He's the one who freaks out on everything. He got killed by the ballista, but the thing was the ballista shot through him and killed the pursuer knight.
that's funny.
So there was some Dragon Ball Z shit right there. I'm like, oh my god, like that's funny, but damn, that's fucked up.
Okay,
Oh,
here's something. Have you noticed the backstab animation on Dark Souls 3 is weird now?
oh
Like
yeah.
half the time you can't get backstabs, and then when you do, it's like two of you getting a backstab at the same time.
Oh, that's classic actually. That's been around for a long time, and it's been
I
around in
haven't had
Demon
that happen
Souls.
until
It happened in
recently.
happened in Dark Souls One. Didn't happen in Dark Souls Two because of the way it was. So no, I think it did happen in Dark Souls Two a couple of times. I'm not sure.
But like half the
Bloodborne,
time
it's
backstabs aren't
damn near
working now.
impossible.
Like
Yeah.
you were in position, right? You should have. It goes through the animation, but it doesn't actually get the character.
Uh,
Have you noticed that? It's
it's
been
more of a
happening a lot.
either they didn't get it because they dodged it pretty much. It'll go into an animation, but you didn't get it. Dark Souls
Yeah, but
One.
it's
Oh my God,
like it
Drunky.
was happening to my husband on Freed a lot.
Honestly, all I can say right now is that backstabs are it's been weird for years now. I remember Dark Souls One. It was Drunky. I'm telling you, do not go into the forest. If you want to try it out, do it. But the first time you'll do it, you'll never go through that area again, especially alone. Especially since of how the
Right.
way Dark Souls One is. It's Dark Souls One was just don't do it.
No, I
It's
remember it. You said it enough. You've drilled that into my head.
I mean
I'll
you'll
remember.
know what I mean soon enough if you ever look it up. You'll see because people there was a oh my god the controversy. Okay, you know what we're talking a lot about the Souls games, but we're not getting into like an
Yeah,
in
we
depth
are.
analysis. So we're kind of doing
Yeah.
okay right now. Like we're gonna do with the stream, we're gonna go into like deep analysis with each game. Each game, Demon
We are
Souls.
going over a lot of shit
I'm
though.
gonna
We
have
should.
so much fun with that. Some people just don't understand how unique these games are. Honestly, like
I
people
know.
only look at oh
I'm
my god that game's too hard. It's not. Honestly, I
it is in the beginning, but
it
once
is.
you get used to everything, like it's super easy. Like I'm going around with a level 16, you
Hmm.
know. Um, and the other day I created a new character, and within 3 days I had him at level 86. You know, just playing the game kind of normally. You know what I mean? You get it's the game is repetitive, and the more you play it, the easier it becomes. That's easy mode.
Hmm.
You know, it seems harder than it actually is,
It honestly it. Let's not talk about Minecraft shit. Minecraft. Well, who's talking about Minecraft?
right?
Wait, where did Minecraft come from?
I think he's just trolling you to get you to
No, it's
actually
not.
talk about
Be quiet,
it.
Drunky. But
It worked because you actually talked
people
about it.
people I always tell my friends it's like you just like it is like a lot of people who defend Dark Souls say, "Oh, you're just mad because you're not handheld," and that's true. Honestly, some games will handhold you. Dark Souls
Mm,
and Demon Souls, the Dark Souls series doesn't. You gotta sometimes figure out shit on your own and ask for help through other people, and they will help you too. And
mm,
Dark Souls, like it's seriously, those games like that have really changed my opinion on difficulty on games. Really,
Hmm.
and like it really
Well,
made
you
me
can tell when a
understand
game is
that.
being cheap now for real. Like
Seriously.
when the game is stacked against you,
Hmm.
you can really tell, and it's like, nah, the developers were just being cheap, you know.
Mm. I
And
swear
then
nowadays I see Dark Souls there. I'm like, okay, Miyazaki put this there just to be an asshole. I can see that now. This his shit is it honestly it really
right.
has. Um, like Demon Souls was like, I mean, I look like you just gotta really be patient with shit, and like you just always have to like pace yourself. You just can't rush in and just like
Hmm.
just you. Oh god, how am I supposed to say this? Oh my fucking god, but
Miyazaki is forcing people to use their brains, and I like him for that.
mm-hmm. I mean, they're like people
He's
always.
forcing you to stop and think, you know.
I mean, people always said like with Demon Souls, like you die and you start all the way at the beginning of the game, and like I'm thinking, I always thought that was like, oh my god, no, I can't go through this again. But then the more you do it, the more you see your mistakes and all that.
Hmm.
Not to mention the bloodstains, that was a nice feature because that would help you. Messages that would help
Hmm.
you.
Yep.
I
There's
always
all
liked
these
that.
hints in the world, but it's not so obvious like most games. It's not all in your face, you know. It's all subtle things that you actually have to pay attention for, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like descriptions on all the items. It gives you clues and hints and stuff. Um, the messages sometimes they're just people being dumbasses, like finger, butthole, you know, near half of the NPCs. Everybody knows those, but like when you see that sign that says shortcut here, some of them are trolls, but then you if you're not stupid and don't just jump off of something, and you go and actually look, and you're like, holy shit, there is something down there. Thank you, guy, whoever wrote this.
Yeah.
Um,
And then there's
it's
that one. There's that
building
one.
that
Uh,
subtle camaraderie in the whole game that you feel throughout that has that real depth to it that takes a few playthroughs to really sink in. You know, yeah, nice chest ahead or something or chest
yeah.
ahead.
God, I miss
It's
Guinevere.
those fucking signs. Some of them are funny. I actually posted
Yeah,
one. I
people
can't
do
remember.
have a lot of creativity with the messages, and like you just gotta see it to understand it. Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne were an introduction to the series. Bloodborne, yes. Dark Souls 3 is a really rough introduction because of the changes that were made throughout the
Actually, I
series.
think honestly, I think Dark Souls 3 is easier than starting with Bloodborne.
Oh yeah, Bloodborne.
Personally.
But Bloodborne will. Bloodborne is like going back to the roots of what the series used to be. That's how I see it, and people
Yeah,
are gonna get their.
Bloodborne's pretty vicious if you've never played a Souls game before because it's so much faster paced,
Mm-hmm.
you know? I did put down a trolley sign near a boss and something like,
Put sign near Grim amazing chest ahead. Oh, another thing I wanna talk about. I wanted to say this in the stream, but let me just go ahead and say it. I do
mm,
hate that a lot of unique. Oh my god, Dark Souls 1 has so much beautiful content that was cut away from it just to make the deadline. It's so bad.
mm,
Look it up, Drunky. I mean, I want
that
you to
would
play Dark Souls 1 first before looking at the cut
fair.
content because you'll be like more like why
Very
was this put
upset.
away? I don't think
Right,
Dark Souls 3 had any cut content besides some weapons and stuff. But
right. Now I want to go back and play all of them through.
yeah, it's a real treat. That's why like I guess why you gotta. That's why I always say Miyazaki or From Software need to release remastered games of this
Mhm.
because
Especially now that the Soul series is officially over, you
the
know?
Oscar
Because
storyline,
people
yeah,
are gonna be they're gonna be starving for this stuff. I know I am. I got into it at the end, basically, and I'm like, oh shit, you know, this is it. This is all I'm gonna have.
yeah, because the Dark Souls series was all I was playing. Well, Demon Souls was all tongue tied.
From the
Demon
get
Souls.
go, you know.
Yeah, Demon Souls, like at the time when I really understood that game and understood like
Mhm.
what I had to do and how to get certain things, like I was really into the game and my friends were like, I mean, at the time I was playing Red Faction Gorilla too, it was the online. It was a different online game at the time that everybody was getting onto, and like, dude, what is up with you in Demon Souls? Play Red Faction? Nah, nah, I gotta play Demon Souls. I gotta help you right. If I help her, she gonna let me smash. Like, okay, she didn't say that, but that
Mhm.
was like fuck. Uh,
Right.
but yeah, anyway,
I
you get
kind
what
of
I'm
I'm
talking
kind
about.
of sad that I didn't have that experience, going through Dark Souls from the beginning. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I would have a deeper appreciation. I feel like I already have a deep appreciation for it, but I think I'm missing out. You know what I mean? On that first experience as it came out. Because yeah, I can go backwards. I can hook up the PS3 and get the games and go backwards, but it won't be the same. You know?
Yeah,
So
it's
that's kind of sad.
oh god, like it's like I mean, I'm just really thankful I didn't play these games because like when you really like look back at what these games truly meant and how much it really taught you about gaming, on how like certain things are, you really just do appreciate it. As you said, it's
Yeah, what Skullface just said. He said,
I got my
I got
hand.
my hands on Dark Souls 3, and now I love it. I used to play on easy mode on all my games. Now it changed my gaming experience I started with, which is exactly what happened with me. Like, I always played on easy mode because I was like, I'm here for the story, I'm here for the game. I don't really care about challenging myself. And there isn't that option in Dark
I
Souls
was
3.
lucky to start off with Dark Souls One. I'm glad you did, Anthony, because Dark Souls One
Mhm.
is. It's like I keep telling, like if it were not for Vadi or Epic Name, bro, nobody would give a damn about the lore of that game. It's thanks
Right.
to those people and other guys too who did lore videos. I'm mostly just known Epic Name, bro,
Yeah,
and Vadi,
you
but
know,
uh,
those guys, I gotta give them a lot of props for that shit, because they dig deep into the lore. They actually go and look at, like, mythology and stuff all over, how it ties into this, that, or what this actually means in the context of humanity or whatever, and they just, they went and found all the stuff with it, and they made it more.
it made me more aware of my surroundings and it exactly right.
Hmm.
The Soul series taught me to look around my surroundings and look at the environment around it. That
Yes, because nothing's there randomly or for nothing.
anyone
It's not
remember
just
Onion?
there to look cool.
Oh yeah, Sigmire and Sigwar. You can't forget about the Onion Bros. Can't forget about
Yeah,
them. My
I've noticed
favorite,
that
hmm?
too
My favorite.
about
Uh,
Dark
uh,
Souls. Sorry, is the nothing is placed at random in the world.
hmm
Everything is there for a reason, you know?
Yeah,
Even statues, the way they look, the way they're facing, it all points to stuff, and it's amazing that that's there, and that's yeah, Dark Souls, I agree, did change gaming for me completely. I have a higher standard now, and every other game, in my opinion, and you've heard me say this a million times, every other game, in my opinion, sucks. I just,
yeah.
nothing compares to it.
And funny thing, I used to get onto you about that too, but I started to realize that, like, I mean, it. I mean, when I don't play the Soul series for a while, it's just
You
everything
kind of get
else
used
just
to the
feels
mediocrity.
it. You can't. I mean, you gotta like ever since like at what Anthony said. I get on to a lot of game developers now for putting stuff there for no reason. Like, why is this here? There's no
Yeah,
story behind that being there. Like, it's like,
just
come
to
on.
look cool? Like, why? If it's gonna be there, it should have something there for it. There should be a reason it's here, you know?
hmm Like
Mm.
like the giant trees in Dark Souls 2. I used to thought they were just there for decoration. And later I found
Yeah, I
out you can
noticed those
actually
are
go into the
around
memories.
everywhere. Ooh, I haven't gotten to that point
I'm
yet.
sorry I
But
spoiled
I've
that for you.
noticed that they're everywhere. And I was like, wait, this looks exactly like the one outside Firelight Shrine. What's going on with this? How come they're everywhere? You know? I'm like, something happened here.
Mm.
Immediately, my mind's thinking, what happened to these trees? Because there's only one in Dark Souls 3.
Uh, I actually,
There's got to be some more with that.
I honestly with Dark Souls 3, I think it's just there just to be there to get the seed of the tree of giant. But I think there could be more behind that because it just wouldn't be there
There's
for no
got to be
reason.
something.
Some stuff in Dark
Yeah.
Souls were inspired from Berserk. Oh yeah, I noticed that a lot when I played Demon Souls and a lot of other series. Well, not for Demon Souls, but mostly for Dark Souls One. But
Mm-hmm.
like the little girl in Bloodborne, who's the daughter of the one boss. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
it's
It's
like if
just
some
so.
people don't
It's like
under
it mimics real life. It's all interconnected. You know what I mean? Because
right.
nothing in life is just on its own for no reason. It's everything is there because either somebody put it there or somebody had an idea, and everything is connected. And he did a good job with those games, and I love that.
And some
And I'm spoiled now with
yeah,
gaming. I expect more out of my games now.
like what was I about to say? God damn
Sorry,
it.
I interrupted you.
Yeah, I forgot now. How could you do this to me,
Well, you
Jack?
did respond to the whole daughter of the one boss thing comment, and then
Okay, I think we should really start saving all this for
yeah, we really do
yeah,
have to save this for the next one.
because there's more I want to talk about, but I'm trying to save it. But and then we'll just summarize it later in the stream. We could say it here, but like it'll be said. More will be said in the actual stream to come.
Mm, especially after I can put my. I'm gonna have to. Oh God, I'm gonna have to play Dark Souls 2 during the week
I can
and
help you
get
out with
through
that
it.
actually, if you want. Just hit me
That
up.
would be fun. Yeah, because like you know a little bit more than I do, so
Oh yeah, oh god, I want to play Demon Souls so bad, man.
yeah,
Like the
most of the games are
characters.
boring.
Every game
Sorry.
is fucking easy. It's boring. It is like when you play games like Dark Souls, you get into the whole. It's like you want to try and test your skill. You want to test your like how you can actually take on things as difficulty. And I think that
Mm,
Gwendolyn may be responsible for mimics because he have its mimics are only ever in places related to the gods in Dark Souls One. Huh?
hmm.
Never thought of that before. Actually, you said that like half an hour ago. Well, Dark Shark, we talk too much. All right,
All right.
I can use some help in Dark Souls 3 as well. You haven't been on Dark Souls 3 in a while. Well, then again, you've been pretty busy, James. So it's
Mm.
understandable.
Well, if you're part of the what is it, your community that you started,
Oh, I forgot
Marcus?
about that community actually.
Yeah,
I
I'm
need to get
part of
that.
it too. So if anybody sends a message in there saying they need help, I'll come help too.
I need to actually do more with that. I hate I started that and did nothing with it.
Mm-hmm.
I need to really,
Shame.
because no, like there are other Dark Souls communities. So, but then again, I'm like I need to really start actually doing something with that.
Mm.
You know, Demon Souls is just, people always say that there's nothing to Demon Souls, the Soul series besides difficulty. It's really not. It's more to just the characters are written well once you really get to know them. Like
Marcus,
I know,
we've been talking about Dark Souls for
I
about an hour
I
now.
can't stop. I can't stop. All right, blame Miyazaki.
Oh fuck, I hate losing. I've lost so many souls in the Ring City. Oh
Oh
my
my
god.
god, don't get me started on how much souls I
Yeah, that
lost.
fucking dragon.
I like like I've literally put.
Just kiss him goodbye. Just do it, because you're not getting them back. Just eat
Did
it.
you stop playing a game just so your souls can stay there, and when you come back and you're more confident?
I've done that before.
That's so messed up. Dude. I probably fucked up the Tales of Borderlands because of the music. Fucking music copyrights bullshit. I just go with it nowadays. Like I don't make money off of YouTube, so it's kind of F for me. So
Yeah,
it's
but you can still get a copyright strike, and they can still like fuck you over.
I know. It's just I know there's some things I kind of get the system now. Like I won't get a copyright strike if. Okay, no, actually I don't understand the system. The sunken fucks. Oh, you can't blame Miyazaki. He is a god. Oh yeah. Sometimes I.
No, the DLC's actually good. It's just well, for one, it's a bit more difficult, and it's just like I think the thing is that people aren't used to having a hard time with Dark Souls anymore. And you've gotten used to all the other shit. You played the base game over and over. It's a piece of cake. And then here comes the Ringed City and all of its shit, and you're like, oh shit, I have to learn shit again,
People got
and
too
it seems
comfortable.
hard again. It seems harder than it is because we don't have that ability to read everything as well as we do with the base game. So I think it's just a case of we're not used to it yet.
Oh God, Anthony, we're all gonna probably just hop on the Souls series now, like later. All this Souls talk, we got to get ready. I don't want to
Yeah.
look up videos about Demon Souls or Dark Souls 1. I mean, I do have my personal knowledge and experience, but I want to play it again, honestly.
Mm.
It,
There's
it's
certain areas in the DLC. Sorry that responding to Spider Blaster saying so much ganking in the DLC. Um, I don't know which perspective you're talking about because I've been ganked by invaders there.
it's probably talking about
Um,
enemies or invaders.
yeah, so either way, I would say there are certain areas, like especially with those ghost archers. Hopefully, I didn't spoil it for anybody.
Ghost
Um,
Archers. Oh,
yeah, that area. Go through it unembered. Just do yourself a
yeah,
favor.
that's
Jump
that.
off the fucking cliff and go through it
The
unembered.
old Iron King DLC. Uh, the Dark Souls 2 DLCs. The least one I like. I don't hate it for difficulty. I hate it because it wasn't much like effort put into that DLC. I'm not gonna lie. The bosses, like Dark Souls 2, had a really bad habit of rehashing bosses a lot. I mean,
Mm.
there were times where it would be cool to fight this one original boss, like the final boss of that DLC. But everything after that is just it's so. I mean, the areas are pretty cool and it's really gloomy and very intimidating. But at the same time, once you go through it a couple of times, you see like how just it's not okay. I gotta play that again. Fuck it. God damn it. You'll see what I mean, Marcus. Please get a 360. You know what? I wasn't gonna get a 360, but I see now it's like $49. So I might
Don't do
actually
it.
say he want. I gotta play. Anthony only has Dark Souls 1 on 360. Marcus, I'm sorry.
No,
I have a lot
no,
of I have a lot of
you'll get
subs who
cheated
have
on your
only.
PS4.
I'm not doing it. Like
No, all those 360 people that try and suck you over. And you're like, I don't have a PS4. I want you to play with me. And then you'll get sucked over into the 360,
Oh
and then
no,
the PS4 get
I
mad
know
at
my
you.
roots. I know my blood. 360 gonna try and run away from me because I have the PlayStation blood. No, I'm gonna bring it back here. I'm gonna give it a Stone Cold Stunner 316, and that's all I gotta say about that. I just
No,
did a whole Stone Cold
no.
reference right there.
Embered Undead needs to get a PS4
He does have a
or
PS4.
PS3. Go
I'll
get a
bring him to the group
PS3. You
chat.
got
All
that
right,
respect.
he's coming to the group. I have a yeah.
Okay.
Drunk
You
is
need to
just
get a
messing with you,
PS3.
Anthony. I think she does have like a hint of seriousness within her voice, but I think yeah.
Oh, I hate Xbox, period. I just hate them. And not because I'm a PS4 fan, girl, boy thing, whatever. Um, I do like PlayStation, but they
But
have their issues, yes. But fuck Xbox.
I don't hate Xbox because it's like I'm like as drunk. You said I'm not a fan, but I tried it and I was like, okay, there's nothing over here for me, and just
Yeah, they got problems with like because it's Windows, and they're greedy bastards, and they try to fuck over other gamers because remember that whole digital thing they were trying to do where they're like, oh yeah, you can share with people, but you kind of can't, but you can't return things. It
PlayStation
was
for
this whole
life. Yeah.
issue.
What's this? Skullface? Yeah, that's how Jiranki was when she played Dark Souls. She wanted to like do everything by herself for a bit, and then like just
Yeah.
try and experience everything. I only got a PS3. There's nothing wrong with PS3. That's where all the free shit is, and low price
Hmm.
good games. I mean, PlayStation 4 has got good games, but like there are games I still want to play on PS3, and like it's
Yeah.
better and more of an experience. And like when it comes to like free stuff, because you don't feel cheated a lot sometimes, like a lot of people do on PS4 nowadays, because of
No.
like the free games we get. It's kind of bad, or like I'm sick of indie titles. Honestly, I want more AAA
Oh,
titles.
I'm so sick of those weird platformers and like cheap cell phone games that are
That's
coming to
really what it
PlayStation.
is, honestly.
I'm so sick of that.
Like, okay, you know what? Topic 5. We're still gotta try and get through. Like we talked like in like half an hour just
Right.
on Dark. So it's time to move on with this like the stuff. Okay, well
Yeah.
let's get
Like,
these
like I said, I
questions
have
right
my
quick.
issues with
Hold
PlayStation,
on, Drunken. Hold
obviously.
on. We're about to do it soon. Don't worry. Let me see. First console was Nintendo 64. Same here. I don't know where mine's is, honestly. I think it's gone. There were times I had the game and I felt dirty about it. I never really feel dirty about it anymore. I did it so much times in Dark Demon Souls, I just don't give a shit now. I mean, it wasn't really. Well, we'll talk about that in Dark Souls stream. PlayStation for life, yes. PS4 for life. If I had a gang symbol for PlayStation, I would throw it up every day. Probably get shot too. Microsoft fucked so much. Microsoft is still trying to get back on their feet, but the damage has been done. I can fucking
Hmm.
do it. Skullface, I believe in you. You want to talk about game play for honor?
Yeah, fuck that
Oh
game.
boy, that game. I'm still gonna get it. I gotta get it.
Oh,
Plus, you don't need PlayStation Plus
don't
for play.
waste your money on that. Just
I
don't.
got to get. I'm sorry. It's.
No,
I have
wait
to. I
until it's
have to
on
taste
sale
the
then.
salty tears, Drunky. I
No,
have to
no,
do
I'm
it.
just saying, not to do with that, just to do with the gameplay and um the whole like microtransactions and everything on
Yeah.
a fucking $60 game. That shit shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
So
I
wait
see what you
until it's
mean.
on sale so you don't waste your money on it, because it's not worth $60.
I see what you mean by that. 100%. Play Plus, you don't need PlayStation Plus to play online. Yeah, PlayStation Plus was an option, not like a thing you needed, which is
Yeah,
really
it
sucks.
was.
They
I
finally
fucking love
realized
that.
they're making money off this shit, and they're like, you know what? No free online. Like, goddamn it, Sony, you fucked up the only good thing people liked about you. It's like trying to
Yeah,
get good head from a girl, and then all of a sudden their head game sucks. And then why am I so fucked up?
I
That
don't know.
like, dang.
I don't
You
know.
don't need the Neo. You don't forget Neo and Xenoverse 2. Yes, those two games also. I need friends. Skullface. Don't you have me on PSN? Or do you only have a the Xbox One? Okay, that's all the comments. Force Unleashed 2 for free. I love the Force Unleashed series. It's too bad it's not canon to the actual Star Wars story because that's would have been something cool. All right. Um, you guys got a sneak preview of the Dark Souls stream that's going to be happening. It's time for us to get
Mm,
back to the topic. PlayStation
how
Plus
much
is
time are we gonna
sorry.
go?
Huh.
We've been on for like what, 3 hours now?
It says 2 hours, but I think it's been more than that actually.
Nah, it's been more than that.
Yeah. Um,
Because we started around 7:30.
we started around these like 6 at least.
Well, 7 my time.
Oh
So
well, yeah.
7:30 to 10:30. That's 3 hours.
Didn't you add me, Death Shark? I think you did. Um, PlayStation Plus. Now, I understand. A lot of people say you should never complain about getting something free. But here's my thing. If what I'm getting is shit for free, then I have the
And
right
that's
to
part of the
complain.
rewards of, and part of the incentive of getting PlayStation Plus. Then yeah, I also have a problem with that too.
It's
It's
like,
like that. Yeah, it's so bad.
I mean, honestly, when it comes to like PlayStation Plus, people say, I do like I said in the beginning of this. I know it's free, but come on, like when all you're getting is a bunch of crappy indie games you're never gonna go back and play again. You
Mm,
like, especially the fact that like we have PlayStation 4 and we need to get Plus. I mean, they raised the prices of Plus. Like, you don't
mm,
do that and not promise better things in the future. You're raising the
exactly.
price
And
for a reason. You're not raising the price just because, hey, we're going to be raising the prices soon. So like, here we go. Like, give us
right,
good reasons to have PS Plus instead of shitty free.
exactly. Instead of like being able to talk and well
Exactly, and
play
play
online.
online.
Like you can have party without PlayStation Plus, but you can't co-op in certain games.
Yeah, I mean, I have to have online because everything I do on PS4 is really online centered. And a lot of people
Hmm.
who let their stuff expire, they don't really play online that much. But I mean, you and I do, and we have to keep getting this like stuff, and you have to
Yeah.
keep paying like $24 for something that was seven. I could get two PS Plus cards for like
Hmm.
it was 17. Now I can't do that. So I got to get
Yeah.
like one at a time, and it's really annoying and very, very frustrating.
Oh,
Especially the
have you
fact that
noticed
like,
something else too?
yeah,
Um, okay, you used to be able to rent games, like some older titles that were on PS3. You used to be able to rent game per game, right? Have you noticed that they changed it? Now you need like a rental subscription.
Yes, yes.
That fucking pisses me off
I mean, I never
a
really
lot.
rented many games, but it was a nice feature to have just in case.
I did a couple. I was doing the first Infamous, because I was going back and playing the Infamous series, because I had Second Son and I really liked that, so I was going back and playing the older ones, and they were on there for rental, right? And then there was this game that I really liked that game. It was done pretty well. I mean, the controls, it's got issues as a game, but for what it was really good. It's called I Am Alive. It's this
Oh, I remember that.
post-apocalyptic game. I actually really liked that, and I was renting that, and now I can't just rent that game. I have to have a fucking subscription, and it's like there's only a few games that I would actually rent, so why do I want a subscription for shit that I'm not going to use, really? You know?
Yeah, I'm alive. Okay,
That was
I'll
a
check
good
in.
game.
I remembered the trailer for that game coming out like back in I think 2007 or 8. And I
Hmm.
think it didn't come out until like 2011 or 2010. I don't know when the trailer came out, but it was a very nice trailer. And a lot of people were very hyped for I'm Alive.
Good, actually. And I can't believe I'd never heard about it,
Um, the game was really like I remember this coming out and people not liking it because
Overhyped.
like it was over it wasn't overhyped, but it was very like people were really anticipating this game. And
Hmm.
like a lot of what we were posted like because the gameplay there was never a gameplay trailer. It was only like a movie cinematic trailer. And
Oh.
you look up the original trailer, drunk, you'll see what I mean. And the game
Hmm.
was like there was never anything about this game ever since that besides that one trailer. And the game comes
Hmm.
out, gameplay is nothing from what people expect it to be, and a
Gotcha.
lot of people were really disappointed about it because the people who were really, really wanting this to be a good game, and yeah, that's pretty much the story about that. As I said, drunk, you
I
look
mean,
up the trailer.
I didn't know that, so then I went and played it because it looked like an interesting game. I like post-apocalyptic stuff, and so I was playing it, and I actually really liked it, but I didn't get sucked into that hype or have I never saw the trailer or anything.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this is actually a really good game for
Uh,
what it was. But everything sucks after Dark Souls.
but you know, a lot of this stuff, Sony. I'm not. Sony is becoming like a lot like Microsoft. I mean, they like even though PlayStation is where the all the games like I mean a lot of the exclusives personally because me and my Kingdom Hearts I had to have my Kingdom Hearts I had to have a lot of the other stuff. A lot of games that are coming out are like being focused center on PlayStation 4 like Spider Man, which I'm very hyped for. God of War, Death Stranding, Last of Us 2. I mean, they're all coming
Oh,
games that we
so looking forward to Last of Us 2.
a lot of us are looking forward to these games. But then again, there are people. I think the people who are pretty much complaining are the people who used to be on 360, used to be only 360 players, and they're
Hmm.
expecting a lot more out of PlayStation. I can see why they're like disappointed. But still, they really Sony they promised more AAA games for free, and they have not lived up to that
Yeah.
standard. They keep giving us these crappy indie games that honestly I don't care about. I hate sometimes like you said I don't like these whole old school pixel styled video games
I
that are
can't.
coming out
I'm
on
so
like
done with it.
new generation 2017.
Yeah, why? I mean, okay, I understand the nostalgia, but having gone through that when it was relevant and there, and that was all there was, and getting to what we have now, honestly, I don't want to go backwards.
I don't either.
It feels like going backwards to me.
They
And
really do need to like really quit with this stuff. It's like there's a lot of money you could do to make better games and just try to make an old school style nostalgia games. Just and like they did with
mm,
Mega Man, like Like when the original
Mhm.
Mega Man game, they went back to the pixel style. I understand it's cool, but like, why? I
Right.
am.
And then I understand to a certain extent. Okay, so you've every now and then it would be fine. Like, oh, hey, we got this cool, like, kind of nostalgic game, yada, yada, yada. But when it's everything, it's too much, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like oversaturated. And so I don't understand it. Because honestly,
Abazu.
looking forward to each new generation of console and stuff, like we were talking about in the whole console discussion that one time, that one podcast, looking forward to the new generation of things and the better graphics and the amazing shit they were doing was just like it was great to go through that. Everything was always better and amazing. And to get to PlayStation 4 and everything's going backwards, like what the fuck? I mean, that's what it felt like to me, you know what I mean?
It's
So
just they really have to stop, especially. I mean, especially when it comes to indie. Like,
these are
don't
cell
make
phone
us
games
pay
now.
$59, $24 for subscriptions and give us shitty free games. All right,
Yeah.
it's really really frustrating because people
Hmm.
are really hoping PlayStation does something good, and here you guys are giving us crappy indie titles. Drawn to Death, I get Drawn to Death. I didn't like it, honestly, to tell you the truth. I really didn't. I didn't really care much about it. Like, oh, this is a free exclusive game that like only PlayStation 4 is getting for the first time. You should be grateful. Okay, I'm not going to be
Hmm.
grateful for shit. I'm sorry, I didn't like
Right.
it. I could have
Exactly.
been
A
gotten
shit
like
sandwich is still a shit sandwich.
you miss Mega Man. Who knows when Mega Man X is actually back in the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinity game along with Sigma? They might do something with him in the future. I'm hoping for a Mega Man Maverick Hunter X too. Honestly, I enjoyed the Maverick Hunter X on PSP. Abazu is beautiful. It is, but it's not something I play so much. It's like Journey. It's only for like a one-time playthrough for me.
Yeah, I was like, I played Journey and I was like, why is this getting so many awards? It's just a little game that's just, I didn't understand what
It
all the hype was about that game,
uh,
honestly.
it was all right, but I didn't really care for it like that.
It wasn't all amazing like they were making it out to be. Like, why was it getting awards like that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand it.
Salt and Sanctuary. Never played Salt and
Sounds
Sanctuary
so
actually.
familiar. Why does that sound so familiar?
A
I'll
lot
have
of
to look that
people.
up.
It was kind of like a Soul style thing, but different.
Hmm.
I never got to play it, so I can't really say.
I think I must have been interested in it at some point because that sounds so familiar to me.
I think it was made by From Software. I'm not really sure, but
Uh,
again, I mean, I can honestly let me go ahead. I got the PlayStation app on my phone, so I'm gonna just go ahead and just look through a few things right quick. But if you're gonna make us pay this much, Salt and Sanctuary is free.
hmm.
Wait on PlayStation 3. Or you're trying to say Death Shark? Because I don't like. Let me go through it right now, right quick. Everyone gets salt from it, huh?
Or maybe I'm confusing it with some other game in the past
You mean like
that had a
Slashy
similar
Souls?
title.
Because Slashy Souls was really shit. That was such a dumb.
Hmm. I must be thinking of something else.
Let me go to free games right quick. Because I don't remember.
I'll kick in
Laser
salt.
Disco Defender. That's another dumb thing. What's Typewriter? What the hell is
What?
it? Is that on PS4? That is PS4. What is this?
Uh, they're literally sticking cell phone games on a PS4,
What's Bloody? Oh, that's PS3.
which fucking pisses me off. It's like why? Like, oh, it was so popular on a cell phone. Let's put it on a console. Who
They're
thinks up
really
that shit?
bringing all this stuff. Let games
Some
that were
some of
made.
this shit is actually from cell phones gaming. It's
That's
like,
actually what the Ouya did. I think when that came out.
Well, weren't they even thinking of bringing, or did they bring over Angry Birds to a console?
I think they did. I remember that happening actually. I remember
Like,
them doing that.
why?
I don't, because it was that popular. That's the only
I
thing,
know.
because of
I used to
popularity.
fight it. I liked it on the cell phone.
But yeah, that it was for the cell phone. I don't know why the hell they're. I don't know.
Right? There was some other stuff that was like directly ported from cell phone gaming. Okay, oh, this is bad.
They
I gotta shit on No Man's Sky again because Hello Games, weren't they? If I remember right, they were cell phone game developers originally, and they just like No Man's Sky was their first console or some shit like that.
yeah. Go on. I want to hear this.
Cell phone developers need to stay on their fucking phones.
Right. It. I mean, like everything just like a lot of people are just making the excuses the indie title. It's no, no. I'm not gonna let that slide. Really, if it's an indie game, then let it stay as an indie game. Don't give it to me for. I don't care. I don't. It's something that I'm trying to find the right words for this, honestly, but I just can't. I don't know. I'm just really fed up and just frustrated with how the way we're getting these free games, and it's nothing that nobody wants to play. None a single person on my friend list played none of the free games that came out this month, and the same for last month. I think
I
except
don't
for Drawn
even know.
Together.
I stopped looking, actually.
I pay
I used
attention
to
because
check
I'm
them all the
hope that they
time,
might actually give us something good.
right? What's even on there right now?
Um, Tales from Borderlands and Abazu, I think.
Hmm. See, I never check anymore because I just was constantly disappointed all the time. And then I don't have any room on my PlayStation anymore. I need to actually get an external hard drive now.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me actually check right quick. Yeah, Tales from Borderland, Abazu, and then for PS3 they got Bloody Nights and Port Royal 3, Pirates of Merchants for PS3. Laser Disco Riders look stupid, and there's Typewriter, a typograph video game. What the fuck?
Oh,
I don't understand it, man. Well, what is it gonna take to get good AAA games?
I don't know. Like, beg from software to keep making more games more frequently.
I mean, Miyazaki's coming out with a game, but we might see that at E3 actually.
Hmm. I hope so. I don't know. There's been the whole rumor about Bloodborne 2. Somebody was looking into it and he's like, I don't know. I still think it's a rumor because of the whole
Don't
trademark
I don't listen to
infringement
any
and
of the
everything.
rumors until I see it confirmed myself.
Right.
Honestly,
Well, yeah,
people
I'm hopeful, but I've always remained skeptical on that front. It's like I don't watch
because
E3
my
anyway,
friend
so
actually he I'm sorry for interrupting you, Drunky.
no, it's okay.
Like my friend Brandon, he told me, "Hey, you ready for Bloodborne too?" I'm like, "What? What? Where? When?" Oh, the rumors came out like this whole list of Bloodborne 2 was on it. I was like, "God damn it,
Mm-hmm.
Brandon! It's a rumor. You want me to look up the definition of rumor for you, bro?"
Mm-hmm. That's
No.
why do you think I said rumor when I brought it up?
Fuck, I'm sad. What are you sad for, Spider Blaster? Put it on PS for free. I'll stream it the fuck. I'll stream it the fuck out of it. Stream what? Someone putting a boot up their ass. Oh, that's gotta be ouch. Be right back. Okay, dude. And hold on a second.
I'm getting tired. It's kind of late now.
I'm back. I mean, I didn't go
Oh,
anywhere. I was waking my mom up
I
so she
know.
can get to work.
Gotcha.
Uh, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's and then people are all just talk about Kingdom Hearts 3 getting a release date. Nah, nah.
Mm. I just wait and see when shit comes out because I don't do the hype train. I don't follow shit usually.
Yeah, you can't get hyped about rumors. Like that's impossible. Like, I don't see how people do it.
All I know is that I'm just waiting for From Software to release shit, and when they do, I'm gonna look at it and probably buy it.
Oh yeah, because From Software, like, what are the games that
Because
From
they're
Software
getting
make actually?
I don't know, but there are very few developers that I trust enough to pre-order now.
Naughty Dog, Sucker Punch, and From Software,
Hmm.
and maybe Omega Force, even though they're a very lazy company.
Bethesda. Bethesda's
Bethesda,
good. I trust
definitely.
them.
Oh yeah, I gotta go to fucking
I
school in
mean,
the morning.
they
All
got
right,
their own
Skullface,
issues.
dude.
You'll see. You'll see when you play Fallout 4 more. You'll There's some issues in the game, and you'll notice them,
I
but
know. It's the same with
they're
Skyrim.
always the same. You know,
Yeah.
they're always the same in their games, and you kind of expect it. They cut corners in one area that they always cut corners in, and it's kind of a thing. But I do trust them. You know what I mean? Enough to pre-order something.
You must have had a good. You must have a good school experience, Spider Blaster.
Right?
Cause like I didn't think anyone would be sad for not being at school.
Or the person they're interested is
Yeah,
leaving.
like what kind of? I want to go. I wish I went to that school you went to. Holy crap! Did I read that right? I have 4 days left of school and I'm sad because of it. Dang, you must have the
Mhm.
best teachers in the world and the best kids in the world. Like holy crap!
Right?
Cause there are days I didn't even want to get up and go to school.
Story of my life. I didn't want to get up.
What's up, Scorch? Welcome back. And because Salt and Sanctuary is not being free, I'll have to really try out that game when it comes when I ever get a chance to get it. I want to say honestly, I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with The Last of Us too. I mean, you think they'll stay with the same formula, or it'll be something completely different?
I think it's going to be darker.
Mm.
The trailer has a feel of a lot darker. Um, and I'm kind of hoping it is. I think they can do better than what they did because just look at the jump between Uncharted and The Last of Us. You know,
Hmm. Like they know, like
um,
they realize that like
they hit on something there.
because people are like Naughty Dog, of course, the creators of they're mostly known for Jack and Daxter and Uncharted, and they're
Hmm.
mostly primarily known for the Uncharted series. And people are going to be looking at
Right.
The Last of Us. Oh, it's just nothing but Uncharted clone. I don't know. No. And people
Nah.
still try to call it Uncharted clone when it really is not.
What?
You play Uncharted.
Okay.
It, take it over. Take the floor,
Oh my
Drunky.
God. Yeah, I played Uncharted. I got the first three in that sale that happened just recently.
Yeah.
I haven't played all of them yet because I got all pissed off with the second one in a certain area because it's cheap. Like I was saying earlier, as
Drunky,
opposed to
come on.
Dark Souls.
You're too hard
Oh,
on
hey,
Uncharted.
no, no, there's skill and then there's just cheap shit that the game does. And yeah,
I
this
know
one
what you
area
mean.
is cheap
I
as
know what
fuck.
you mean.
So I like them, but like they switched. They did something in it's like you can't even compare those two games. They're two totally fucking different feels and temperature and pace and everything.
The one thing
It
I can
I
say
don't know how people do
is that Uncharted is like when I played like The Last of Us, I'm thinking like I think back to Uncharted and how the story and characters were. Like I love the hell out of Uncharted. All right, especially the fourth
that.
game. But holy crap, I can't believe they did this with The Last of Us. Like I didn't like I knew they had story and skill writing skills, but like
Yeah,
they
but this
really
is
used
something
their
else.
full 100% skill on The Last of Us.
Hmm.
And people who I'm pretty sure there was people who were very critical of the game because it has too like I mean when it comes to like a game that has too much positivity criticism towards it,
Hmm.
people tend to just criticize it just to criticize it and just like give it bad reviews just because. And then there are
Right.
people who just hate styles of game like this. And people say that
Yeah,
how do you
no.
say games like this are boring?
Hmm.
I don't like I understand it's your opinion, but like
Right.
the writing, the characters, the world, the situation.
Oh yeah, that it's just night and day from the whole overall feel of the game. Like
Crash
it's
Bandicoot. Wait. Oh, wait,
like I
oh.
said, it's a good example of good writing and depth, and I'm excited for The Last of Us too. Oh my God! But
I was honestly wait. Did Are there really more people out there like Ellie, or did he really lie to her about that?
No, there really were more people, and that's why he was upset because they were all being brought there and basically being killed and dissected to try and get the the cure, and they still weren't getting the cure, and it's just like they were just killing people. And the way I was thinking was, well, they're actually destroying the cure because if you think about it, this is how life would have gone on. If she had had a kid with somebody, there's a high probability that that kid would also be immune. And killing all these people to try and get the cure for everybody else is essentially damning the rest of the world.
Well, damn.
Mm-hmm.
And she
That's how
asked her
I
to
took
look after the Ellie, and she was gonna try and kill her.
it. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah. They weren't trying to kill her. They weren't trying to kill anybody,
you
but that
see. Hold on a minute,
getting
Junkie.
the
Hold
cure
on a minute.
actually resulted in
Hold on a
killing.
second, right quick. How do you make a look at the chat and look what Dev Shark just said? How do you joke about that?
Yeah, I don't know.
How do you joke about
Kids are
that?
cruel. I
How
don't
the
know what
fuck do you
age
joke
bracket
about school shooter?
you're in.
That's not funny. That's not funny. How do you,
Mm,
how do you
kids are
and you
mean
wonder why people
motherfuckers.
are so aggressive nowadays.
Uh-huh.
Do parents not teach their kids all about shit?
Nope.
How do you joke about that? That's not funny.
I used to like kids. I don't anymore. I've decided. Once they get older than 3, if they're an asshole, they're gonna grow up to be an adult asshole. And yeah, I don't like you past 3, basically. Unless you're a cool person,
Death
which means you
Shark,
probably
I'm
want to
so
be young.
sorry, man. I'm legitimately. You have to get an apology from somebody, dude. That's not fucking funny. That is not
No.
funny.
It seems to be a thing now. Like,
I
yeah.
mean, high school can go either way with people. I didn't have a bad experience in high school. I did run across a
Well,
few jackasses, but that's just how
if you
school
look
is. But
different,
sometimes
if you look, if especially if you look nerdy or you wear glasses or you're pale or whatever, you're gonna get that. It seems to be a thing now, which is just disgusting that people would do that and make it's what I was saying earlier, assumptions on appearance, and it's not right. Take people for what they are, not what they look like.
all right, let's okay. And I need to.
It's fucking. You'll realize once you get out of high school that it's a bunch of fucking retards, and yeah, and they grow up to be asshole retards too once they're officially adults. Those people don't change, and those are the same assholes that I have to deal with as an adult too. So you'll high school, like I never went there, but I was around people enough to know that just they're just being assholes to try and get under your skin, and it's wrong that they're saying it, but they're doing it just to fucking piss you off. Bullying has gotten to a whole new level now. So yeah, it's just they've gotten so mean. Like when I was a kid, bullying was just like little things, you know what I mean? Really little things because there wasn't the internet. And now that internet's everywhere and kids are growing up with it, I mean, people learning shit that they shouldn't be and learning what really pisses people off and it's saying some really nasty shit.
It really goes back to what we were saying in the past few podcasts we were doing. It like I mean, it's understandable why things are going the way it is for the internet and YouTube and a lot
Oh,
of shit.
internet, right.
It's understandable. I mean, yeah, YouTube handles it in a very dumb situation, but look at what's going on, and
Mm-hmm.
they're doing drastic things to try and make things easier for a lot of people. Yes, they do handle it in a very dumb situation. Yes, I'll say it again. But
Right.
look what's going on. Look at the shit what Dev Shark just said.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what can you do? It's pretty much society's fault, honestly, and people on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, and see this is what I never understood about like the geeky kids. They tend to be better in school and do their work more and are more interested in things that actually propel society forward. And all these assholes yelling at these people and putting them down don't realize that these are the people that are going to create the new thing that saves their life in the medical field or
Hmm.
gets us to a new planet once we've destroyed this one or whatever.
And
You
you
know
will
what I
be
mean?
fucking working for them too. Yep.
Right? Oh my God. But it's the geeky people, it's the nerdy people that get shit on at school that actually fucking propel our
That's
society.
jealousy, honestly. I learned that
Hmm.
personally. I learned
I
that
think
the
it
hard.
is.
I learned
Yeah.
like I do my work, and I'm like, I don't hardly talk to anybody. And like I said, I
Hmm.
did make a lot of friends because I knew that like I never acted nerdy. I never acted like I did my work all the time, but I did do it. And
Right.
I see other people who do act all kind of like nerdy and shit, but and I
Hmm.
see like that's jealousy. That's just jealousy.
Yeah.
They're jealous because they can't do their shit right because they don't want to do it. They don't want to go to school. They want to go out
Or
and
they
get
don't know
themselves killed
how.
on the streets. I live in a very pretty much almost like pretty much a populated black school, and there are a lot of whites, and there was like a large majority of African American children, and
Hmm.
I see that people just do that because they're just jealous.
Right.
Honestly, I mean,
I mean,
bullying in my school is surprisingly it was at an all time low, and when it did pop up, it was it was kind of it's how can I explain this? I really can't explain it the way it is, but like bullying was just
I
I
think it
mean
should be kind of the opposite. We should be like teasing people for not doing their stuff. I mean, not bullying, but like encouraging, more like saying, "Hey, why aren't you doing your stuff? What do you being lazy or something?" If we push people to learn, the whole of society gets better, you know?
I mean, it's a very nice thought, but that's, I mean, it's nice
Yeah.
thought, you know. You know, it,
Yeah.
and
There's a reason why I married a geek.
surprisingly, a lot of times it's the people who don't talk to anybody that,
Mm.
that like
Well,
get kind of a lot of shit from people.
right.
Like
You
that
know what?
rarely happened in my school though. It rarely
There's something I
happened,
want to
but
bring
it
up
kind
too.
of, huh?
Just as a side note, a lot of people don't understand introverted people, right? See, I'm a very extroverted people, right? Person. I talk to everybody. I'm very like out there. And there are people like my husband who's very introverted and stuff, and they don't talk a lot. But our whole society, everything, all the way up to the top in business, in every aspect, everything in life is geared towards extroversion. You have to be this way. You have to talk to people. You have to be extroverted. You have to do these things. Otherwise, society looks at you like you're weird, which I think is wrong
It
because
is. I
a lot
mean,
of times it's the introverts that are actually doing everything, which is annoying. Yeah.
people hate because it should not be like that. If you don't like a lot of times, I mean, if people don't want to talk to anybody, like don't try and
Just
don't
leave them
fucking tease
alone.
them because they're not. How do you tease somebody who's not talking to anybody? That's just ridiculous and dumb. Like fucking hell, how do you do that? I mean,
Yeah.
to try and get them to talk and snap off so they can have a bad reputation on their hands?
Mm. Some people, oh, this is for a whole nother topic. I read a whole book about like stress in particular, but it goes into kind of why people do this to other people, and it's really fascinating. So I know one of the guys that listens to your stream did a thing on bullying, and I mean it is a good topic and stuff, but there's actually a reason why people do this, and it's actually kind of disgusting. But we're we're not humans are not good people.
Or
We're
not?
we're like baboons. Baboons are horribly mean to each other.
Funny,
Like,
funny joke my friend made. Like this was no, it was actually my. It was like an old old man friend I had like back then years ago. He told me like he this is like I just want to try and break the whole tension right here right quick. Like
Mm.
this one guy came up to him like the dolphins like we're trying to teach dolphins how to use like their skill to do something with dolphins and shit. And he went up and
Right.
said if the dolphins were actually smart, they wouldn't listen to us. It's fuck.
Oh
I
my God.
don't know why that made me laugh so much. It just did. It just. Oh, like if the dolphins were smart, they wouldn't actually listen to us. It's
Maybe
just
they are, and we're the stupid ones not understanding them. Maybe
that's
they're like, what the fuck are these stupid monkeys doing up here running around not understanding us?
it's funny because like animals actually do a lot more civilized things than human beings, which is very
Sometimes,
sad.
have you seen those videos where will run out and save another dog?
Yes, I have.
It's fascinating. There's actually some monkeys, I don't know what species they are in
All right,
India, I
Duff.
think. There's a lot of wires that are kind of all over the place, and they use those to walk around and get from place to place because it's easier, right? And some of them are exposed, and some of the monkeys get electrocuted. And in this particular urban area, there are some monkeys that have learned how to do basically monkey CPR. It's
That
it's crazy, but they're doing it. They're like, if I shake this guy enough and dunk him in the water enough and hit him on stuff enough, it'll get him back to life. It's it was insane. It was on this show on Netflix. I can't remember what it was, but it was like, holy shit, monkeys learned how to do CPR, and it's like, yeah, they'll help their buddies out and stuff. It's crazy, and there are tons of animal species that are way more civilized than we are. We're just horrible to each other.
I don't.
I think it's a superiority thing, honestly.
That's what it is.
It's a power
Superior.
and superiority in a way to make somebody who's uncomfortable with themselves and silence feel better about themselves, you know?
Yeah, it's. I didn't really
Because if you
start
think
talking a
about
lot
it,
until I
bullies
got
are
to
the
high school.
loudest. They can't stand places being quiet.
That's exactly because the more the more a lot of more rowdy people are in one classroom, the more I don't know. It's
The more they have a problem with themselves.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of got into a whole nother topic, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And
Well,
I think it's time for me. Yeah, it's 11 here now. I gotta go.
all right, folks. This podcast went to so many different topics, but then again, it's a podcast. You can't really control that sometime.
Well,
Um,
we always devolve into random stuff at the end.
and I really don't mind that. It's more of a thing
I
with
think
us. I don't mind
I
that.
think it's because the podcasts are too long.
Well, I can't like I want to get everything down, and this is uh okay, folks.
I,
That's going to be all for today. Next week we'll be doing our Soul series discussion overview of the Soul series. Stay tuned for that. If you're interested in the Dark Souls series, come join us next Sunday.
Even if you're
Um,
not, do it anyway because it's awesome, and we will convince you why
oh
you need to
yes,
play Dark Souls.
definitely. Sorry for also apologies to a lot of people who've probably been through a lot of bullying and a lot of shit in high school. We didn't want to bring up old memories, so apologies to that. It's one of the reasons why I didn't want to talk about this because it will spark bad memories and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, then again, like guys, sometimes there are times where you really, really got to stand up for others. I had to do that multiple
Hmm.
times in school because they didn't have
Oh yeah.
they didn't really want to do it for them. Um, I
Hmm.
have a lot of friends who has been through. I've seen them go through a lot of shit, and surprisingly enough, they will stand up for themselves. But
Hmm.
sometimes it will get really out of hand, and I have to go ahead and step in sometime.
Right.
Um, but then again, guys, again, I'm sorry if it sparked bad memories and like make you feel shitty. I mean, look, I got Spider Blaster saying his life sucks already. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm
Sometimes
not
I
laughing
don't
about
complain about
everyone,
life.
but
I'm just glad to be alive with it. Honestly, I can't complain
I
about
mean,
it. Mm,
if you want to break it down, just about everybody who isn't, a millionaire, their life sucks right now.
yeah,
I
money
mean,
won't help
that's
anything,
the
honestly.
only way. You know what makes life not suck is having people close to you that you know have got your back
Right.
through thick and thin, through all your problems. That's what makes life good. Because without those people, what is there? And if you don't have people like that, there are things that you can do. There are a lot of places like you can get involved in some. If you like gaming, you can get involved in like different gaming groups or whatever. If you like other things, there's like external from gaming, like outside. There's a website called Meetup.com.
Mhm.
It's not a dating site. I know it sounds like it, but this is for all the people out there who might need to like want to find other people that
Right.
like to do the same things they do. Like me, I like mushroom hunting, right?
Right.
You can find mushroom hunting groups there. You can find book reading groups there. Like let's go play board game books groups there. It's a place for people who share similar interests, and so if you need friends outside of like gaming or in your other life and want to connect with newer people or even meet some people in general, I highly recommend using the Meetup app. Or it's not an app; you can also use it on a computer. But it's a great resource. I've met a lot of very good friends through stuff like that. So you're never alone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Unless you make yourself alone.
True.
And
And
all it takes is a little effort from you and asking and going out there. And sometimes it's scary, but sometimes you can find people that'll go with you on your journey, whether it's a friend or a relationship or whatever, you know?
right. I
And
mean, there are times I hate that me and Drunky don't live in the same state because there's so much fucking chemistry. Me, Alec, Sonic, and
oh
just
yeah, one of these days we
we
just
got to
gotta
do it.
like pick a state and all meet.
No, I will if I ever do get that a lot of money like that. I'm sending it to you. I'm sending it to Alec. I'm sending it to Anthony. I'm sending it to Crystal. I'll
Oh,
send
if
it to
I win
everybody.
the
We will get
lottery,
together.
yeah.
I will make
Oh
that
yeah.
our goal to get together, and we will take over the world. It'll be like Pinky and the Brain. What are we gonna do next? Like, what was it? Brain? The same thing we
Right?
do every day. Pinky. Plot to
Oh,
take over
you
the
know what
world.
we
But
have to
Pinky,
do? You
Pinky
know
and
what
the
we have to
Brain.
do? We have
Yes.
to bring our PlayStations and we have to set up a
God damn.
LAN party on fucking Dark Souls.
I don't live far from you. Me? I think you live in what, Texas, Anthony? I think. Huh? I don't think I ever asked you where you're
Everyone
from,
seems to
Anthony.
be in the southwest from me, so I think I'm traveling to all you.
Uh, but
Oh,
yeah,
if we do, we have to make a YouTube meetup video.
oh yes. Oh yes, that is the plan. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to
Wait,
the
let me get.
military at some point. You are? Oh shit. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but again, oh, Florida. Yeah, you're close to me. Um, again, apologies if we did spark some bad memories. I know a lot of bad memories started coming back to me. I did actually my middle school experience was bad because I was
Mm-hmm.
introduced to a lot of people from like a certain school who were just fucking idiots and just uh
Mm-hmm.
things didn't get started in better till high school, and that's when I met my ex and stuff, and life actually got a little better during that time. I was
Right.
completely broken for a bit because that was the first long relationship I was ever in, and I was like, God fucking damn, I cannot believe this shit happened. But that's
Right.
a story for another time. I don't think I even want to tell it. I don't think I ever will tell it. Still,
Yeah.
um, again, we will see you guys in the next podcast that'll happen next week. I actually have a video planned out for One Piece Pot Warriors 3. I know why One Piece, because One Piece is the best anime ever made. No, not. I mean, it's cool, but a lot of people will argue that with me down pretty good.
Oh,
And me and Jiranki and probably Spider Blaster and Anthony would get together and do a few things with Darks. God damn it! Fucking dropped my case on the damn table. Um, you know what? I'm talking too much. Elementary through
yeah.
middle school were shit for me. Elementary was fun for me, and
Okay.
that was my elementary
If you
school.
guys want, we can do this as an actual topic somewhere else. Like, um, bullying, relationships, stuff like that. And I have a very geeky explanation for relationships and why breakups hurt and stuff. So, which might help people.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can do this if you want. If so, leave comments if you want something like that, and we can do that if you want. If not, and you want to just leave it here,
Yeah.
then let us know.
All right. It's up to you guys. You can tell me right now in in like the chat, or you can comment after this video is done rendering and actually uploaded. We can do a
Mm.
discussion like that. We can tell our stories. We can do what we do, and it's up to you guys, Anthony, Skull, or anybody who's in the chat right now. Just it's up to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember you were that was a hard thing you
Yeah,
went through. I remember that personally, Anthony. You were really
they are hard. That like
because
all breakups are hard, and there's actually a scientific geeky explanation why.
you really want to tell that explanation, do you?
I do. I do.
I mean, it helped me a little bit, but it's just like goddamn, man. I
It
really I
depends
really did
on.
love this girl too. I really did
Oh
love
yeah.
her. Damn, like
It it's because it's an actual physical addiction. That's why it hurts so bad. You're literally going through addiction withdrawals because it's the chemical that creates an attachment to people, friends, pets, mother and child relationships. It's all the same chemical, and it is an opiate. It is a legitimate drug. It's like taking heroin or opium. And when you go through withdrawals from breaking up with somebody, that's why it physically, literally hurts, is because you're not getting your dose of oxytocin constantly. And that's why it hurts so much. And it takes time to break an addiction, and it takes time to get through the withdrawal symptoms. And yeah, so that's literally what's happening. When you meet somebody, you get along with them on a mental level, and like you have similar interests, and then you start hanging out, and oxytocin starts getting secreted, and then you get attached, and then yeah, you get used to that dose of good feelings,
all
you
right,
know?
Skullface, he wants us to do that. Death Shark,
Uh,
Spider Blaster, anybody else? I mean, but we're not going to be
um,
talking about X's. We're just going to be talking. Well, it's going to be in that
General
topic.
stuff.
It's going to
Yeah,
be every
general
now and
stuff.
then.
I have no problem telling things about my past, but but yeah, I hope that little explanation may have helped some people as to why it actually hurts so much. Um, so,
What should we even name
you,
that podcast anyway?
Grandline podcast episode, whatever,
I know Grandline
off
podcast, like,
topic.
but what's the actual topic name?
I don't know.
Big
Relationships
booty
and
bitches.
human experience. There you go.
Yeah, it's not bad. Okay, sure. Very good, drunk. You're starting to get it now. Clap for you.
Whatever. Oh, come on. You know I'm okay with titling stuff. Okay, I've been on YouTube longer than you have, buddy.
Hey, I witnessed you
I'm
two
so bringing that up.
through the eyes of one who has never had an account till 2010. So yeah, get that. How about that?
uh,
Life
I'll
discussions
give
with
you some
Marcus and
credit.
okay, yeah, you can go ahead and name it life discussions or the human experience. I'll
Something
just
like that.
we'll decide it later, probably after the last minute when we don't talk about it and
Life.
then the last minute
Dot dot
decision.
dot. It sucks.
Oh my no, we're not gonna dude, we're gonna be attracting the wrong people. They're gonna be trying to get on everybody's nerve. We ain't trying to have that.
Oh, I swear, with a title like that, you're gonna get so many people clicking on it
Because you know
because
how
people
internet
are
folk are.
attracted
They'll
to
come in like,
negative
oh,
stuff.
you're talking about life sucks. Ha ha ha. LOL emoji, you fucking loser. Why is your life so? That's exactly what's going to happen. I swear to God, if we ever name it, that's going to happen. I would bet it with you too just to get extra money, just to get like easy money, but nah, I'm
No,
not going
I
to
don't
do
have
that.
any money.
Oh shit, never mind. I do. All
I'll
right, so I
bet
guess
it
we're
for
both in the
ha-has.
same thing. Oh, ha.
Yeah, weird.
Fuck you. Fuck
Gotta wait for that tax return.
you. Will you wait for that tax return? There'll be a skeleton sitting in the fucking window.
Right?
I would join if I could.
Oh
All right,
shit.
guys. Again, sorry to leave off on a kind of like a hard hitting note on this stream. We need to go ahead and head out because
Yeah,
We'll see you
it's
guys in the next one. Dark Souls or the Soul Stream overview,
yes.
summary, whatever. We'll name it when we get to that point. Anyway, Spider
Hmm.
Blaster, Death Shard, Skullface, Anthony, and everybody else who will probably watch this video till the end or interested in watching this live stream to the end. Thank you for joining. I will see you all in the next one. See you next Sunday. For more, Marcus
Goodbye.
Drianke.
Good night.
Good night,
Thank you, Mother.
folks. Take it easy, guys, and stay golden. Bye bye.